Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Everybody, and welcome back to episode 400 of Crime in Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Here we are for the 400th time, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, because between these 400 episodes and 475 for Small Town Murder, and then you add in Your Stupid Opinions, a bunch there. We're pushing 1,000. We're almost to 1,000 total podcast episodes, so it's pretty fun.
Give a shit. That's incredible.
It's wild. Well, even if they didn't, we keep making it. So, but we're happy that you are giving a shit. We're not just yelling into a void. So if you have hung with us on Crime and Sports for a long time, if you're a long-time listener, thank you. This is like a listener appreciation episode.
Yeah.
You know the website, you know the Patreon. We're not even going to do that up top this week because we're just going to say thank you. We're going to take that time to thank everybody who's been there. We started out with very few listeners in the beginning. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is we're not, people now, I guess, whatever, we're known as podcasters or whatever now and whatever. But at the time when we started this was the first thing we started. We were just nobody. We're nobody now, but we were as nobody as nobody could be then. So we were screaming into the wind, and there was 8 people listening for a few weeks, and then something caught a nerve with you people, touched a nerve and caught some fire, and you people started spreading it around, and because of you guys, the Crime and Sports movement, as we always called it.
It's a thing.
It's really a thing. We've been able to last 400 episodes, and we're going to keep going on past that. Yeah. We're going strong here, so thank you, everybody, for all you've done for us, and everybody that's been involved in the show, too. I'll give a thank you up top here. Obviously, Jimmie, myself, we've been here the whole time, so thank you, Jimmie.
Thank you, James.
There we go. Thank us. I want to definitely thank Sarah for all the behind-the-scenes work that she does for the show. Since the very beginning, she made it possible for us to be able to do this.
Crazy.
And also my cousin Ian, also, for the last year and a half or so of doing the research for Crime and Sports. So we're just really happy. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We're excited. So that said, let's talk about what we're going to do here this week.
Okay.
We're going to talk about somebody. We're going to talk about a wrestler he's an asshole. He's more of an idiot than an asshole. Let's put it that way. Because we play idiot or asshole, and I would say more. There's some damage in here, much like guys like a Jake the Snake Roberts, where you go, oh boy, there's all sorts of stuff in there that if you ever open that door, I mean, there would be crazy stuff.
There's bats
and shit flying out. Yeah, we both said bats for some reason at the same time.
Because it's bad shit. That's a crazy life, man.
There'd be bats flying out and all sorts of weird stuff. That's kind of what I get from this guy, too. Like, there's definitely some darkness, and we talk about what happens with his brother, too. There's definitely something bad happened to this guy as a very young child that turned him into a real fucking idiot. And we'll talk all about it. His name is Nick Gage. Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been passing him. Wrestler, and he is the hardcore quote
he does
unquote
that crazy shit.
He does the light tube deathmatch shit. That's his specialty. Because the guy he has no fear. I'll say that for him.
He's probably the scariest man I've ever seen.
He's all balls. I'll say that. If he was mad at you, you'd have to kill him. But, I don't know how hard it would be because he's pretty stupid. So he'd probably come straight at you. You could probably put a hatchet right in his forehead. But you have to be willing to put a hatchet in his forehead because otherwise he's coming. I feel like that's what it is. Right, like a zombie. Like I feel
he's
like he'd
dangerous.
Be chanting brains as he came at you half the time. So we'll talk about him. Nicholas William Wilson is his given name.
Oh, Wilson.
Wilson, yeah.
Not Gage.
Not Gage. Nicholas William Wilson. And, he goes by, Nicky Wilson. Instead, he's Nick Gage and Hardcore Nick and all that kind of thing. Yeah. His brother also wrestled for a while, and he'll have a really interesting arc, his brother, as Justice Payne. That's what he went by.
Not bad. Good
Not
name.
bad, I guess. He is born, anyway, Nick is born September 22nd, 1980.
Oh. And
he's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
He's a Jersey guy. Not a big guy, 5'10",
okay.
210 maybe. Right. I mean, not a giant man. Sure. Not a guy that will turn your head at the airport and go, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah. Unless he tries to wrestle TSA.
Unless he has like a chunk of glass sticking out of his sticking out of his femoral artery or through his jeans or something. That'd be the only.
The barbed wire in his neck sets off the alarm.
That could be it. Well, I got a few embedded metal items possibly. So I had a match last night. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think there's a Matchbox car up my ass that I fell on. I'm not positive. I'll have to pick it out when I get to San Jose. But
God, he's so just a. It's hard to really describe how reckless and careless he is.
That's the thing, and it's one thing. And here's the thing about wrestling. And I'm not a professional wrestler, obviously. This is from what I've heard and what I've been told by other guys and things of that nature. The point is, you can be as reckless as you want with your own body. That's great and fine and dandy, and that's your business because that's your opinion. That's your thing. Yeah. But you need to take care of the other person.
Right.
They need to be able to.
That either.
If there's no trust there, then that's bad times. And if someone takes advantage of people or does things that they might not approve of in the ring, that's just fucked up. Plain fucked up. That's at that point, that's just assault and fucking and
that's New Jack stabbing a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it's a shitty, violent thing. Well, that kid did ask for that. That's different. He said, "Cut me," and New Jack said, "I'll cut you." He never said how deep. He didn't say how deep.
He didn't say stab me.
Well, he sliced him down to the bone. That's all. The other guy who stabbed him, you're talking about that. I'm talking about the mass transit that he sliced open where blood was shooting out. The other guy was the stabbing.
That kid?
No. He sliced that kid open in the forehead, and he almost died because he hit an artery and all that. But that kid said, "Cut me," and New Jack said, "No problem."
Got you.
The other guy tried to go into business for himself and do some shit that they didn't agree to, and New Jack said, "Oh, you're going to try to make a name on me because you're an unknown and I'm New Jack? Fuck you," and stabbed the shit out of him and made a name for himself that way. So you want to make a name, it's going to hurt for you to make a name. Mm-hmm. This guy does things that are not agreed upon constantly with people, and not just things like, a certain type of move. I'm going to do a suplex, and you need their cooperation, but you're gonna do it a certain way that they said no. I don't. I like to take it this way, and you do it that way or something. That's different. He's is
blasting with cinder blocks.
This is, hey, don't do this and this, sure, and then he takes out a pizza cutter and slices your forehead up while you're against your will.
Right.
That's different.
That's crazy.
Different. And if someone did that to me in the ring, I would murder them.
Yeah, period. You are marked for life, man.
I will murder you.
That's a facial scar.
I will
what the fuck?
Hunt you the fuck down. I'll go very Italian on you fast.
A slice like that starts on your forehead, stops at your brow, and then picks up after your eye.
Those are bad.
That's a pretty cool scar. But a pizza cutter is just like
across
lines
the forehead.
back and forth across your face.
And it's pointless, and it's not. There's an art to this shit. That's the point. There's supposed to be a fucking art.
A pizza looks bad if you cut 2 lines in the same area and you miss the groove.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it
doesn't even look. Yeah, it doesn't even look appetizing anymore.
What's that little chunk in the middle? That's useless.
Why is that
now.
there?
That's forehead meat. Think about that.
Yeah, that's
that
a man's
useless
face.
Little piece of pizza. It's not good. There's supposed to be a fucking art to this.
Yeah,
there's supposed to be some form of art, and a lot of the time, in my opinion, the crazy hardcore guys of the 2000s and 2010s, the light tube guys, these fucking guys, they saw hardcore, they saw Japanese shit in the 90s, they saw ECW, and they completely missed the fucking point.
Bastardized it.
They completely missed the point, because people talked a lot of shit about ECW, but there was a lot of actually really great workers there who could do crazy shit and also could work good matches. You had Guerrero and Benoit and those kind of guys there, and you had even guys, whatever, that didn't do that, and Terry Funk that would do crazy shit, but he's Terry fucking Funk. He's also one of the best workers on the planet.
Fundamentally, they're
Mick Foley,
great,
guys like that.
Yeah. Fundamentally terrific sound wrestlers.
Yeah, there was garbage wrestling too. There was New Jack and that kind of thing, but it wasn't this. The light tube thing's a whole other level. Thumbtacks and light tubes are different.
Yeah.
You can get killed using light tubes. Thumbtacks just hurt.
Cactus paddles and
ridiculous.
Just crazy things to throw people into, barbed wire bats and shit like that.
Yeah,
I get that there's a lure to it, and it's like it'd be crazy if somebody got hit with that, but they're actually doing it.
Yeah. Well, the 1995, they called it, I think, the Summer of Violence for ECW, had the tag team Ian and Axel Rotten broke up, and they were fighting each other with barbed wire baseball bat matches.
Jesus Christ.
Where the guys, I mean, I think, is one of them alive maybe still? But for years, they still had just, their arms looked like they had giant burn marks on them because they had they're
plucking it out.
Month after month, fucking getting hit in the arm with barbed wire baseball bats.
Jesus.
And neither of the guys could. I mean, Axel could work a little bit actually, but Ian Rotten was garbage, and he was just hitting people with barbed wire baseball bats, and it's fucking pathetic. That's not a. There's no art to that.
The art is making us believe that happened. They're actually doing it. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not making. Of course, we're making it believe because the man now has bad pizza slices on his face.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Well, you want to see a crazy match that's actually good? Look at Sabu Terry Funk with barbed wire ropes. That's. In a barbed wire match. Those guys
and
know
the
how to
ropes
work.
are barbed wire.
Yes,
Holy
because
fuck.
they do all these spots that lead into the big moment of when someone goes into the barbed wire. It's not just like 3 seconds into the match, I get you in a headlock, drag you over, and rip your fucking forehead apart with barbed wire. Because that's what these fucking idiots do.
Right.
Rather than this thing and building a story. And Sabu got his arm sliced to the bone on one of those matches, too. They taped it back up, went out there.
Oh, my God.
They literally just taped him. Said, you're good. So, but they missed the point of that, a lot of these guys. And I think this guy is kind of the poster child for that. Well,
he was their hero.
They were his hero, I think. And he doesn't have, I think those guys had a fundamental base, okay? Terry Funk his dad was a wrestler. He did old NWA style in the 60s and 70s. Like he has a base of any kind of wrestling you want, basically.
Yeah.
You know, you get a guy like that, and you get a guy like Sabu who did a bunch of crazy shit, but his father his uncle, was also the original Sheik. So he grew up in the business and knows actually what you're supposed to do and how to build a story in a match. And then he goes, I'll also throw myself into barbed wire. Yeah. This guy had none of that. He just comes in and goes, where's light tubes? Hit me with them.
But I mean, like, he's the hero to the people that love that. And the other part is, like, if you're going to make something, if you're creating something and you want it to be like something that takes care of your life and pays your, imagine who consumes that. Because I don't want that fucking audience to love me.
That 120 wife beater, basement dweller, fucking
psychotic person,
4chan account having fucking lunatic. Those people are asswipes.
Yeah,
I don't want to entertain those people.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
No. As a matter of fact, on this show, we have actively rid ourselves of those fucking people by any chance we can get, insulting them more than we can to get rid of those people from our audience, because I don't want to fucking deal with them.
And I hope that if they leave this, I hope that they find somebody else that says the exact same thing and hopefully just changes their life. And then they go, I can listen to that show again.
I think they'll just give their wife another black eye and move on.
Probably.
Well, not their wife, their girl they rented
the girl
for the night.
That's going to leave anyway.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So let's talk about him. His mother's name is Patty, and he loves his mom, Nick, man.
Really?
He fucking loves his mom. One thing. Him and his girlfriend talked about on the Dark Side of the Ring episode about him, how much, I mean, he is just all into his mom. And his mom seemed like a really nice person and took good care of them and tried hard. His mom had breast cancer, though, and she died, so that's not helpful. His brother's name was Chris. That was Justice Payne, and they wrestled together for a while there. He's got a girlfriend since high school that he still is with and is in the Dark Side of the Ring documentary. Wow. And, her name is Sandra Culbertson, and she has been through a lot. It seems like you can just she seems like she's been through a little bit here. So, and I mean, wow, that's a loyal chick, man.
She's down.
How often has she picked glass out of this guy's fucking head? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it's pretty loyal. You can't really, you don't get a lot of chicks that'll do that for you, I'll say. So, not bad.
Scooby-Doo mystery machine out of his asshole.
Yeah, here you go. This is why you couldn't get through security, dear. There you go. Yeah, it's a nice one. Okay, we'll put it with the rest.
Still shining.
I'll hose it off, and we'll put it with the rest. So, as a kid, I guess LT was his favorite athlete. Lawrence Taylor, which if you grow up in New Jersey in the 80s, LT is your favorite athlete, period.
That's your guy.
He dominated. And he was pretty normal. He played Little League baseball. You see his pictures on there in Little League, and he's got like a mullet and everything. And, looks like a little Jersey kid. He said, quote, "I was a sports junkie. I loved sports." And he really got into wrestling at a young age. And in the 80s in the Northeast, it was very easy to get into wrestling because it was on constantly.
And it's everywhere. Yeah.
It was everywhere. I mean, you not only had the WWF at the time, now E, that was on so often. I mean, there was like 3 syndicated shows on over the weekend. You had Saturday night's main events every month, or a couple months. You had the USA Network. If you had cable, you had shit during the week. And then if you had TBS at the same time, if you had cable and had TBS, you got all the NWA shit too.
Hell yeah. Kids watching Saved by the Bell and this.
And that. Yeah, you got it all. Certain times you could even get Florida wrestling up here and shit like that. So there was a lot of different wrestling on. So he got into that. He watched NWA. And he said, quote, "Watching TBS, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, Horseman, all that shit growing up." So that's 88-ish. He's talking about that era. NWA I loved. WWF, but I watched it because I loved pro wrestling. And, in the Northeast, you just couldn't avoid WWF. It was up your ass. It was there. So he said that he would go to his dad's house on weekends or whatever, him and his brother, and his dad watched wrestling.
Oh, really?
So so they said he said you didn't even have to turn it on. It was there already. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. He said he remembers watching Saturday night's main event while he was at his dad's house, and they would be able to stay up late and watch it.
Oh.
Which in the 80s for a little kid, because I was little when this was on. I was 7, 8 years old asking, can I watch this thing that's not on till 11:30?
Right.
Which was a lot, because they wanted, if you have a 7-year-old, you want his ass in bed. Not because it's good for him, just because you want to do things that don't involve him. Yeah, fuck you.
Trying to see your mom's tits.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at tits for about 3 hours till then. I'm going to be 2 tits and 6 beers into the night by then, so I don't think so. So I would beg to watch Saturday night's main event, which would replace SNL every couple of months or whatever, and they'd usually let me. I'd usually be at my grandparents' house, and
sick.
They all liked wrestling, so they would put up with it for me. So that's what he would watch, and he said that his dad probably regrets actually showing that to them.
Yeah,
because he said we fucking tore his house apart. He's
he
like,
had
we
wrestling
fucking
buddies,
ripped it up. Yeah. They had each other as wrestling buddies. They were brothers a couple of years apart in age, which I did. Me and my cousin Jesse, we used to do everything. I remember figure 4 leg locking him and him going, "It's real, it's real! Oh my God, stop!" I mean, you would do that shit.
Yeah. The commercial for the Wrestling Buddies was fucking rad. It was like a slumber party, and everybody's got one. Shit. And we're all jumping off of shit on the pillows.
Flying elbow smash off the bunk bed.
Onto a pillow.
Yeah. Onto a small pillow. Tearing shit, throwing it across the room, smashing into lamps and shit. It was fucking crazy.
And there was like 11 boys in a room doing that shit. That sounded great. I wish I could have done that.
No shit. It's fucking, that's what kids did, though. You'd beat the shit out of each other back then. You'd wrestle and you pretend to be different guys. And that's what him and his brother were doing, tearing a house apart. I remember being in somebody's basement at, 11 years old and having someone just go right through the drywall into another room in the basement, like a whole hole. We were like, oh, no.
Between the beams.
That's not going to be good. We all just scattered, man. The kid was like, wait. We're like, it's your dad. Fuck off. We're not our problem. We just left. We left this kid to deal with it, man. I don't know whatever happened to him, but I assume his father murdered him for that.
Pulled the trim off the wall. You're in trouble, kid.
Dude, it went into another room of the basement. Like, those rooms were no longer separated, just right through the wall.
You made a door.
It was awesome. So that's how dipshit kids are, and that's how we all were back then. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
And, he said he had a good time with that stuff. He said he liked watching the Japanese death matches later on.
Sure,
and then got into ECW and all that sort of thing. He also said, while they played football and baseball together, him and his brother, he said him and his brother were like the crazy kids. Oh. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of supervision going on the way these kids are cutting up. Or a lot of discipline, I should say.
Sure.
Or maybe that is, and it doesn't matter because they, based on what he says, just pretty much ran wild and did whatever they wanted. And
awesome.
Are nuts. Yeah, that sounds fun as a 12-year-old. He said, we'd just go around being crazy. We were always the guys getting into fights on the football field. Oh, there goes the Wilson boys again, fist fighting. So
again,
that's his quote. Yeah, they're those kids that are pain in the ass that, aren't allowed over half the kids in school's house.
Right.
Because they broke something the last time they were there.
Yeah.
Put a hole in the basement drywall.
Don't call your friend again.
Yeah, leave him out of it. I'm going to say it right now. Grace. That's Grace.
That's it.
That's Grace. Grace is him fighting in Pop Warner football there. So I think that's what we're going on here. Here's how he says about ECW. And we'll talk about this and unpack this. But I think maybe we should do, we'll do it in their own words on the next one. But he says, quote, I fell out of love with pro wrestling in the early 90s.
Why?
This is extremely common, and so did I.
Okay.
So did I. I remember, like, 92, it got really bad. Really fucking bad. Like, it was just... Yeah. My aunt had one of those illegal black cable boxes, so, like, I'd watch the pay-per-views on that because it was free, but I didn't give a shit, really, and I didn't watch stuff in between anymore. And, yeah, it wasn't the same anymore. Just it got different there.
What do you think that was? Because there's got to be a definitive reason, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it was when they brought in, when they, this is for WWF exclusively here, when they checked Hogan out to go do movies and they brought in Ultimate Warrior and kind of had him replace Hogan as the guy, if you were older than 6 at that time, he's for a spastic 6-year-old.
He's just for I fucking loved that guy.
But I was like 11, I wasn't having it anymore. I'm like, this fucking cornball.
That might be right because I was out of it by then too. But I was into baseball and
me too.
Football at that time. Yeah,
and basketball big time.
Basketball was just next. Yeah.
Just that 92, 93 Sun season really kicked it in hardcore for me. So, but yeah, that's how a lot of kids kind of got out of it, and wrestling took a huge dip in popularity and didn't come back till the Monday Night Wars. I mean,
really?
In 1995, Vince McMahon lost money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
WWF was not a profitable business in 1995. That's how bad it got.
Yeah. But maybe he's got to credit that not necessarily to how bad he was at running it, as much as it was professional sports was so competitive then, and it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was. But he made an active like plan to really dive into the little kid market because that's what worked in the mid 80s. And he was trying to like refresh the audience of like, okay, those kids are 12 now. Now we want the kids that are 6 now.
Yeah.
But it was hard.
What you want to be, though, Vince? Because then you're just selling to 6-year-olds? Is that the market you want? Because we don't have any money.
So then all those kids went away. But then when ECW and the Monday Night Wars happened in the 94, 95, 96, 97 times, and then Monday Night Raw and all that, all those kids that loved it in the 80s fell out of it. They were then teenagers. Yeah. So then they would come in and be like, and give you the finger and do crotch chops and shit because they were like 16 and felt like that was cool.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know that I'd ever want to
wrestling.
I don't know that I'd ever want anything that I'm marketing to 6-year-olds because then you're just getting spite money spent. You know what I mean? Shit that's like shut up money. Spending $12 on something. Okay. Yeah.
Because if you get the kid interested, then the whole family comes is the way they thought of it.
Yeah, but now the family has to go, and it's not a we get to go.
But it was it's going to be mom, dad. It's going to be both kids, and then they're also going to want merchandise while they're there. And you're going to tell your whiny little kid he can't have a fucking foam finger.
I'm not telling him he can't have an Ultimate Warrior shirt. I'm not doing it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what they would do. And even WCW tried that in the early 90s too. And they were traditionally, like that NWA traditionally was more for adults. There wasn't as many kids in the audience. If you'd see, they had bloodier matches. Vince McMahon did away with any kind of blood or anything like that to make it more family friendly. So, we all, especially in the Northeast, we all fell out of love with wrestling during that time period. Not really wrestling, but the product we were being presented.
Yeah. Wrestling's great. It's the way it's being conducted. I don't like it.
You can fuck it up. It's like baseball. I love baseball. You can change the rules and put stupid fucking clocks in and everything else. You're fucking it up and making it so I don't want to watch it. But the core game of the ball and the bat are still there, and you could go back to that at any time, and it'd be great.
I'm starting to get annoyed at basketball having a fucking review.
I can't deal with. I can't.
A coach walks down the court and like. Woo, right? Runs his finger in circles, meaning watch the tape, and then the fucking refs go over and watch a tape, and then
ruining the complete flow of basketball, which is the point
whole
of the game.
point is that there are bad calls. Fucking move on.
No, we can't deal with that anymore. That's the thing.
No, we need it perfect. Stop it.
It has to be perfect. Yes, robot umpires, all this shit has to be perfect now. Rather than there's no human element to the game. There's no arguing about stuff, which is half the fun of the game.
If this is because of that Donahue son of a bitch, I'm going to find him, and him and I are going to fight.
I can't watch a 2K game in front of me every time. I can't watch a guy either shoot a 3 or get a dunk. I can't handle it. There's nothing in between. It's not basketball. It's oh, wow, that guy's very talented. He shoots a lot of 3s and jumps through the air. It's super boring. I don't give a fuck how talented you are. Doesn't matter.
Well, they do that because otherwise it's just a foul or some stupid call, and it's so dumb. And they get to move they get to walk without dribble. It doesn't matter.
Dude, the carry. We talked about this. Every fucking thing is a carry. Every dribble looks like a 6-year-old is doing it, and that doesn't have a big enough hand to control the ball. I'm sick of it. They've destroyed basketball with allowing travels and carries and carry, travel, 30-foot jumper. What the fuck is that? Is that a game that I want to watch?
The crowd goes bananas.
And they love it. Oh, this is great. No, I want to see guys moving and, oh, shit, I didn't see that guy and he cut nice pass. That's what I want to see. This is horseshit.
The Peach Basket guy made up rules when you guys are just defying all of them.
Oh, it's fucking awful.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So, back to Nick Gage anyway. Yeah. I don't know where the fuck we got there, but
I don't know. It's just the evolution
our old man sports rant.
Yeah.
That's our old man yelling at a cloud sports rant for the day, everybody.
I liked it before, Patrick.
I liked it before.
I'm so tired of change.
God damn it. I want good change. I'll take good change.
Yeah, good change is great.
Good change is fine, but bad
Everything
change.
seems to be bad.
Change for the sake of change sucks. And that's what it's like. Well, we want a younger audience. We need to change stuff. Or market to them. How about that? You don't need to change everything.
Why do you want a younger audience?
Everybody wants a younger audience all the time.
Yeah, but the older people get, the more disposable money they have.
Absolutely. But
you know
kids,
what I mean? Like,
kids have access to that disposable money now. That's the problem.
Yeah, you tug at my heartstrings. I'll buy you whatever you want, you little fuck.
That's why we have disposable money for them. That's the point.
Because another being told me they love me. Oh, I love you too. I'll buy you whatever you want.
That's great. Yeah, no problem.
Fuck. I feel so good.
Oh, God. So Gage said, I fell out of love with pro wrestling in the early 90s. When WCW was kind of getting corny. Jesus Christ. Super
it
was beyond corny. WWF was already corny. They were corny first. I will say that. He is correct. And then all of a sudden, I'm watching TV in some random channel in Philadelphia, meaning the sports network there, the Sports Channel Philadelphia. And all of a sudden, I see these guys going through tables and all this stuff. And they got me back in love with it. And it was awesome. So shout out to ECW.
Yeah.
That a lot of people in the Northeast, that's how they got back into wrestling. Yours truly included. Yeah. My cousin Ian, who does the research here, he was like, dude, there's this ECW thing. You got to see this shit. And he showed me a tape of something that, he recorded. It was on Madison Square Garden channel. And Sandman was the first guy. He's out there in Zuba pants smoking in the ring with a kendo stick. And I'm like, what is this shit? This is insane. That was cool.
Smoking. He's showing children how to be a degenerate.
He also was the guy who started the beer thing. Steve Austin stole that from him.
Yeah.
He chugged it and slammed it against his forehead till he would bleed. Right. That's how he'd start a match.
Now let's fight.
And he'd go and beat you up with a kendo stick, sit down in the corner like a drunk, go in his pocket and light up a smoke, and then sit there and smoke while he was just... It's the craziest thing. So as a teenager, that shit was cool,
Yeah.
It was really cool. And all the Raven stuff and New Jack and the Gangsters and all that. That was cool shit. So, he said that he saw that and it kind of changed him. And he and his brother and cousins started their own little backyard wrestling deal here where they would wrestle on a trampoline.
Oh.
If you don't have a ring, I guess that's how you could fall and not get hurt.
Like a big one?
Yeah, like one of those big, big trampolines. You'd have a few kids. And he said, I was always getting beat up because I'm the youngest one.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Which explains his later years, not minding getting nearly killed several times.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
He said, we would set up a trampoline, and then we would set up barbed wire around the trampoline.
Holy.
Have no rope, barbed wire. So
at his house.
Yeah, like Sabu and Terry Funk did, except they have no fucking idea what they're doing, is the difference.
Right. These are just kids throwing other kids into barbed wire.
No idea what they're doing. Exactly. That's different. We were in high school. We would hand out flyers and everything, and then people would come and we would charge for tickets and have hot dog stands. We'd put on a whole, in his backyard, we'd put on a whole venue, have our own merch and everything.
Wow.
He said, it was hardcore backyard wrestling, HBW. We would have which sounds like a porn category.
It does.
Yeah, that's Hispanic big women, I believe. That's that one. Not bad. Hispanic booty white. Yeah. Half white, half Hispanic girls with big asses. We would have our own videotapes and we'd give them out to the kids in school. Mm-hmm. They were like, yo, you guys are crazy. Yeah, I bet they were. What the fuck is wrong with these idiots?
Unbelievable. How enterprising to have like a fucking handy cam and then make copies of it.
It's so many kids did this in the 90s. Yeah? And oh my God, there's endless tales of backyard wrestling groups that came out. Oh my God, so many in the 90s.
This is so expensive to fucking keep going.
Yeah, but you could have a video camera. If your parents had a camcorder from 1989, you had access, you could tape it, and then, hey, you could pretend it's a real wrestling show. That's how it was.
Sure, yeah.
Who doesn't want to do that? So, yeah, he said, it was that. We would have our own videotapes. We'd give them to the kids. The wrestling coach seen it, and he was like, you got to be on the team. And I wrestled my senior year, 220 heavyweight.
Wow.
So, apparently, him and his girlfriend, they talk a lot about how much mom meant to Nick and how much Nick meant to mom. And they said they did the breast cancer walk every year, which seeing this guy doing a breast cancer walk, you could have a group of people in a breast cancer walk and you go, pick out which one's a wrestler. And you could pick him out like Waldo from space.
For sure,
on a satellite.
Yeah.
She said that his mom was everything to him. She was just a happy, happy person. It could be the worst day possible, and she'd brighten it up. She loved Nick to death. Everybody seems to say how happy she was and what a nice lady she was. So it's good to have that anyway. Now, his brother, like we said, is born in 1978. We didn't say that, but we said he had a brother. So, like I said, is that.
His brother's older, huh?
His brother's a couple years older. He is Chris Wilson, Justice Payne here. And same size, too. They're both 5'10", that sort of thing. Now, Justice Payne was trained at the CZW Wrestling School. Now, the CZW, I'm not sure exactly what they were doing there because it says he was debuted in the mid-96. That might be their backyard stuff.
Yeah.
Because CZW was later on, and CZW were the first idiots with the light tubes. And
really?
That was like a big group in the U.S., yeah. Okay. They were basically, it was almost like trying to be like a Japanese company. That's what they seemed to me. Looking
like
in.
Construction Zone Wrestling or something? What is CZ?
Outside in, I don't even fucking remember. It's
Cubic
stupid.
Zirconia Wrestling?
I think it is, yeah. Phony. So, they said that Justice Payne was one of the main wrestlers in the original CZW because he came up as, in their school. And so was Nick here, and they all did that. His brother here, Justice Payne, feuded with a guy named Lobo and wrestled him at the first ever Cage of Death event in the first ever Cage of Death match.
Oh, boy.
And his brother won the CZW Iron Man Championship in that match, apparently. Mm-hmm. So good for him. And also, he would become apparently the CZW heavyweight champion as well, Justice Payne. So I guess he's known, Justice, for forming a team here with a man named Wifebeater, which, if you want to really encapsulate the true essence of your audience, perfect. He's probably the most popular guy there.
Yeah. Well, back then that was it was the common name for a shirt. And it wasn't. It didn't. I don't think it had the. Obviously, has negative connotation, but I don't think it has what we feel like it is because of what it is. We just see it as like a joke. That's crazy that we had that as a joke, James.
That's true. Yeah, everybody
wearing that shirt. Yeah.
Nobody ever said it as anything. Wife beater. It was just a
wife beater shirt.
Which is better than guinea tea, which is what we all called it growing up. It was always a guinea tea growing up. That's what we all called it. So, like amongst ourselves, I don't know if there wasn't a lot of Irish kids walking around saying that. I'd probably get punched for it, but we'd call it's a guinea tea. So we were happy with wife beater. That's a good change. Yeah. And now we've helped it out there. So, that's perfect, though, for that audience because actually, you know what? I'm going to apologize to the light tube wrestling audience here.
Community, yeah.
You know what? You're not wife beaters because no woman would marry any of you.
You don't have wives.
You aspire to be wife beaters. So that's even sadder, I will say.
Yeah, you're just long-term companion beaters.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like you would get lice if you were in this crowd. Like that's how.
Yeah, they are terrible-looking people.
Just people that haven't bathed in a long time. It's very, very scary here. So he won. Justice Payne won the tag team championship with Wife Beater. So
yeah.
Justice and Wife Beater together. It's a good combination.
As if.
While he was still the heavyweight champion. So
he's got 2 belts.
His brother was ruling this shit.
Yeah.
Around that time, a new team formed, and that was Nick and a guy named Nate Hatred. These are very creative names.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ended up winning the tag team championship from his brother and Mr. Beater over here. Yeah. So, as he prefers to be called with, unfamiliar relations. Obviously, I'm not going to walk up to him and go, Wife Beater, Mr. Beater, sir. Can I get a quote?
That means his first name is Wife.
Wife, yeah. That's what if you get to.
Me and the wife are going to have a wrestling match today.
Me and the wife are going to kick these guys' asses real quick. That sounds good, right? You should have seen the wife with the barbed wire. Oh, Maron, this fucking guy was... Oh, God. So Justice Payne began teaming with another team called the Backseat Boys, with a Z, of course, because it's...
May as well, yeah. It's racist.
Makes it somehow more interesting and racist.
Yeah.
They had that feud ended at Cage of Death 3, where Justice Payne defeated Wife Beater. He overcame, finally, the mountain that is Wife Beater in the Cage of Death. So that's how that happened.
He beat his own teammate because they broke up.
They broke up. That's how you do tag teams.
That's the storyline, yeah.
Every tag team is meant to break up and then feud with each other because that's a big...
wrestle each other, yeah.
And eventually get back together because then everyone's happy they're back together. Right. It's beautiful.
The loser acquiesces and says, yes, you are a better wrestler than me. Let's do this together.
Or they just decide that, this is so dumb, and they, why'd we do it? But it's always way after their feud is wound down. You give it a little time, and then when they get together, people go, they were together, and they're so happy.
They're back.
Every tag team, pretty much, they've done that with. Unless they are even the related ones. Even Brett and Owen they did that with. I mean, they'll do it with anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. Christ. So they went to XPW after that. Yeah. I guess the whole crew here, Nick and Justice and everybody left CZW to join XPW, which, have we done an XPW bonus episode?
It's got to be Extreme Professional Wrestling, right?
It's Extreme Pro Wrestling, yeah. Yeah, professional's a little. We'll just call it pro. Let's leave it at that.
They can't spell professional, so they just did pro.
Yeah, people are confused by multiple S's. So
where are those S's?
So XPW, there's been a Dark Side of the Ring about that. They're dipshit porn fucking producer owner and all that kind of thing.
Oh boy.
So someone who produces porn is literally like, I'll do anything to make money. It doesn't matter. I'll just, lowest form is I'll pay for people to fuck each other and then charge people to watch it. That's the lowest form of any entertainment you can get as far as, and I don't mean low, I mean basest form. Like that's
like needs. That's the least qualifications and professional anything. That's a man in slippers.
That's a McDonald's drive-through is what that is. Yeah, it's a necessity.
Just press the buttons. Yeah.
That's what you need. Yep. So he decided wrestling was that too. So he put that as a commodity up in the same echelon as porn for him to invest in. Wow. I guess Justice ended up feuding with Chris Candido, who we've talked about because that was Sonny's boyfriend who died, if you remember him. Yeah. And he's a very good wrestler, good worker, Chris Candido. And Justice Payne defeated him on the last show in the history of XPW.
Really?
So, yeah, I think they came back to CZW after that and got back together with Wife Beater. Justice did.
Yeah.
You got to reform. That's what you do.
Yeah. Listen.
When all of them, even like Shawn Michaels, eventually in like the 2000s, they brought Marty Jannetty back and put them back together, put their theme song on. The fucking place went bananas. I mean, it was They hadn't been together in 15 fucking years. Didn't matter. People went, holy shit, they're back.
Nostalgia is
a motherfucker. Wrestling,
it is. Yeah.
If they're smart, they play on that nostalgia because it's big. So they return there. Like I said, they end up in they teamed up to face Nick and Nate Hatred again, a rematch of sorts in Cage of Death 5 or 6. That's not even 4. That's 6. And the winners having the right to call themselves the H8 Club. That's what they're fighting over. The name, the Hate Club.
To be the H8.
The Hate Club. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's what they talk about.
You could be the Hate Club, H-A-T-E.
Yes. Yeah.
But H8
is specific.
Fuck, people get it. People know what we mean.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous here. Nate Hatred, H8 Club. Yeah, these guys in the crowd are, I'm sure, very, very accepting people also. So this is all very nice. This sounds like a fucking skinhead
the words
rally.
The words
Not that
it
is,
use.
but I'm just saying.
It's what it sounds like. It sounds like Hatebreed plays the fucking plays the break in the action.
Just because of the name.
Well, that's a bad band.
No,
Their
but
music is
Yeah, but they could play, Sly and the Family Stone covers, and it wouldn't fucking matter. Hatebreed sounds. Doesn't matter what they play. You could play
Playing
Paul
Hall
Anka
& Oates.
covers, and that's it. Only that.
She's a rich girl.
And you know it don't matter anyway. She can rely. We're Hatebreed, everybody. On her old man's money. She can rely on her old man's money. It's a bitch. Hatebreed, thank you.
Blasted with a cinder block.
Pieces of glass flutter in the lights.
We are Hatebreed.
Oh, man.
God, I hate their music so much. It's so much.
There you go. They formed a new club, whatever. Justice Payne retired in 2007 at the age of 29.
Jesus Christ.
And he got like a regular job. I think he was, like a construction guy, that sort of thing, like just a normal regular job, and had a family, had kids and all that kind of shit. And was more stable as far as his life goes. He had showed up at the same place every day and all that sort of thing. Whereas Nick is going crazy doing all the hardcore wrestling going around the country.
At 27.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nick apparently also, he went to a wrestling school, but I mean, I don't know. They said that footage of Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk in Japan, which is a famous death match from the time that the tapes made all the rounds, the one where there's barbed wire everywhere. They knock Terry Funk down, and the thing that he lands on is like barbed wire, and it like an explosion goes off too at the same time. It was one of these crazy
fire and cut.
Now he's full of holes and fucking burning at the same time. So that's how they got into all of that sort of thing. Now Nick said that ECW told them, him and his brother in the 90s, that they were too dangerous, as light tube matches were too much for them.
Yeah.
Because that's where you draw the line. That's just fucking stupid at that point.
Yeah. Right.
If you're going to cut the fuck out of yourself and risk your life for $25, you're a fucking idiot. Sorry. You're dumb.
You certainly got problems.
That's not art. It's just stupid.
No. Yeah.
It's just, you might as well fight in a fucking parking lot for free. It's stupid.
Why are you accepting fee for this?
Yeah. And this is how Gage says, though. Gage says, no, that wasn't it at all. He said, get the fuck out of here. They were just mad that a new generation came along, and they were tougher and crazier than they were. No, they were just stupid, because those guys won't impale themselves for $25 because they're doing this as... This is what's wrong with these fucking people, and this is where stand-up, again, parallels. And if you hear that any fucking where else, they stole it from us. I'm so fucking sick of this shit. People goddamn tag us and shit saying, you should hear this guy saying what you guys have been saying for 8 fucking years. No, I don't want to hear anybody say it last week, what I've said for 8 fucking years. Yes, they're exactly parallel. I'm not saying I'm the first to say it, but we've been saying it loud and often for years.
Just similar to for funsies, I defy you to go back and find it elsewhere.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, because
we've said it 100 times. 100.
Who said for funsies? Was it the guy that got killed in Puerto Rico? What was his name? God damn it! The wrestler. The wrestler that got stabbed.
Oh, Bruiser Brody.
Yes, Bruiser Brody is the very first person ever in print to say for funsies.
For funsies. Yeah, he was. You can credit that. Anybody saying it, it's Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody
is what did this. Frank Goodish gave that to you.
Anyway,
God,
point
that
is,
was awesome.
We're the first to say we're the first. But we're the first to say that it's the same.
To shout it from the rooftop, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone else ever really... I don't know if stand-ups and now ex-wrestlers do comedy
it's
gigs.
So weird,
all the time because their stories are ridiculous and they're crazy. So, like we tell. Right. So now they notice it, but when we started this 400 episodes ago, that wasn't the case. Nobody was going around maybe Mick Foley was doing it, maybe, but
I don't know. I'd never seen what he did live. I never heard a word he said live, so I don't know if he said it. But
I'm not sure either.
And I don't know that he knew anything about stand-up enough to compare him the two. Right.
That's when he started it, who would know?
Yeah.
So, he said but they were just crazier and tougher than they were. And that's not what it is. It's that the same reason why comics now don't get any respect because they'll go work at any venue for no money and they'll travel for no money and they'll put themselves up in hotels to go to festivals that don't pay them.
That don't pay any money.
They'll pay for travel, accommodations, food, all this shit for days to go to a festival where no one gives a fuck. It's not Montreal. It's nothing.
And worse than that, they've paid to submit their video to get accepted.
Yes, they paid just to submit.
Just to submit, not with nothing on the end.
That's who these guys are. They loaded up the van, they drove there, they're ready to fucking end up needing medical attention for nothing. For fucking nothing. It's just it's pointless. So I think that's a dumb approach. I don't know. But CZW was from 99 to 2010. Mm-hmm. And I guess Gage was the first I guess he was the first ever CZW World Heavyweight Champion, they said. Oh. And then he got together with Nate Hatred as the Hate Club, the H8 Club, obviously.
Oh,
and Hatred. Yeah, Hatred. That's his partner.
Was it N.A. Hatred?
No, it's Nate
N8?
Hatred.
Okay.
No, he doesn't get clever like that.
He really blew it.
It's not a license plate. He's not trying to... He's not trying to put together a personalized.
Well, he sure in the fuck could have
a personalized Dextard plate, as that's a Dexter Manley episode reference from way back in the day. By the way, too, longtime listeners, there's a few episodes from our early ones, our first 20 that we weren't able to spend the amount of time that we could with them now because we only did an hour show back then. Guys like Eddie Johnson who got arrested 100 times, we did that in an hour. Yeah, that's less than a fucking minute in arrest. How do you do that?
Yeah, how do you even run them all down?
So we're going to redo him. Guys like Jason Williams, I want to dive a little deeper into shooting that guy in the face. And there's a few like that we're going to do from back then. We're going to redo better. So anyway, back to this guy here. One of the... there was a match against Wifebeater. It was the 200 light tubes death match they had.
Okay.
200. Which that's expensive to buy 200 light tubes.
Yeah, and they're doing this in the woods.
Oh, yeah, it's always a parking lot somewhere or a
it's
field.
Outdoors. Yeah.
Yes, it's outdoors with 4 rows deep of people standing around. There's no chairs in most of these fucking venues.
And a construction generator light shining out. There's toxic fumes being dumped into the audience.
A cherry picker with a 2K on it. That's all it's up there.
He'll just breathing diesel fumes.
Yeah, constantly. So, he did all of this. Later on, he would team up with Nate Hatred and wrestle the Briscoe brothers, who end up being a very big, they're a legacy in the business, and they end up being a very big tag team and guys like that. So, Fire, he gets into. Fire was a big thing in the 90s, too. Right. And ECW did a lot of that. Japan did it way before that. They're definitely the innovator of it. But in America, Fire became a thing with it kind of got popularized, I think, by the Dudleys probably doing it. They'd light the table on fire and then powerbomb someone through a table. Because it was generally reasonably, they'd slam them into it. It was just
and the fire goes out.
It was a layer of lighter fluid. Yeah, they'd let it burn for a second, and then they'd do it, and then it was kind of out anyway because they're out of lighter fluid there.
And then you just have a little bit of an accelerant on you, fire.
Dangerous, nonetheless. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, yeah.
Still excessively.
You can get that all over you and still be on fire, sure.
Absolutely. It's definitely dangerous, but I mean, there's a way to control it where it's a little less dangerous, but they don't really do that here, though.
No,
this
they do it with gas.
Yeah, the one that on Dark Side of the Ring that you saw, he gets hit, slammed into this thing, and they apparently used way too much whatever accelerant they used because they're telling him stop, drop, and roll, and he's rolling, and this fire and doing shit.
It is not going out.
Because that's if your clothes catch on fire, not if you're soaked in gasoline. That's a different story. That's got to burn up first.
And the fire just jumps to the other side.
It follows you. Yeah, if you're a fume of gas fumes, a ball of gas fumes, it's not working. So he was rolling around and fucking, they were spraying him with an extinguisher, and his back was all burnt up and everything, and it's not good. That's dangerous shit. It's not worth the money he was getting paid.
Fuck no.
Because I'm looking at the amount of people, the size of the cards, how many wrestlers are on the card, and and what light tubes and shit cost.
Yeah.
And I'm going, none of these guys can be making any fucking money. There's just no way in the world unless all these people paid $150 each to get in. None of these people are making fucking money. If they paid $10, $15, $20, nobody's making money.
All right.
So Sandra, his girlfriend, said, I'm always in the front. I'm like, yeah, kill him. I'm just one of the fans. When he told me he was going to get lit on fire, I told him not to do it. I got to tell you guys, anybody out there with a girlfriend or a wife, what do you think they would say if you went, I'm going to go do this thing, I'm going to set myself on fire? They'd probably tell you not to, right?
If she doesn't tell you no or don't do it, fucking leave, man.
That's a bad woman there.
She's
not a good chick.
A good girl. No.
She said, I told him not to do it because she's nice and actually likes him. And she said, when I saw the fire, I was like, oh, no, here we go. I think someone told him stop, drop, and roll. So Nick says, so I stopped, drop, and roll. And you know what? That shit don't even fucking work.
Yes, it does.
It works unless you're soaked in an accelerant. Much different.
That's why they tell you to do it on TV by firemen.
Yeah. He said, I was still on fire. Then they put me out. The heat was tough. I finished that match. Yeah.
Finished it.
Yeah, I guess so. Now, Gage and Nate Hatred would break up in 2003 when, and this is a quote from this article here, when Hatred joined Messiah's stable, the...
Don't say it.
The HI-V, the high V, the HIV, they named this.
They're trying to be the Hive?
The Hive, but also HIV because you had to be like punny and memey and annoying and fucking...
It's not funny.
It's not at all funny. That's the problem.
A group of guys are...
Hi, we're HIV. The worst boy band in history.
The disease with the worst reputation on the planet. We're it.
We're it. That's really the test of marketing. Get a boy band like in 2000 when boy bands were hot and name them HI-V. If you can make them popular, fuck it. It's all marketing.
Yeah. Where's that guy that fucked all the Backstreet Boys? Where's that
he
guy?
would.
See if he can make this famous.
I think he tried probably, it seems like. So, that's pretty crazy. They would do all sorts of tables matches and him and his ex-partner would do tables matches and cage matches and dog collar matches, the 200 light tubes match. Oh, and they would trade the Big Japan Death Match title back and forth between each other. Okay. So they'd have a belt here. Gage was also in Cage of Death 5. Suspended is the name of it. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Cage of Death 6. Suspended from school for trying dumb shit.
So the light tube matches, just so everybody knows, it's not just like being thrown through them. Some of them are being hit with them and stabbed with them and
they
grind
break them
it
over
into
your
them.
head. And then with the jagged fucking end of a glass light tube will then stab you with that.
And grind it into your fucking skin.
That's what we're talking about.
In crazy areas, not just like in your chest or your back or your arm, just everywhere. Your neck. They get you anywhere that they can get, that they see skin.
It's fucking insane. That's the thing. I don't know why they're doing it. Hey, you know what? I mean, fuck. It's impressive that you can do it. I'm not doing that. I mean, no one's questioning anybody's toughness, but is that what we're here for?
I don't know that I'm impressed that you can do it. I'm because you're a person. Yeah, you're a people, and people can do shit like this. I don't know. I guess
impressed.
Yeah,
I'm
impressed that you're willing. That's crazy.
I saw
you're
a rabid
than me.
I saw a rabid, like, raccoon-looking thing one time, and it was, like, mangy, and it was limping and shit, and I was impressed it was trying. And I feel like...
Impressed it's still breathing.
Impressed it's still hunting and looking for food and trying to make a go of it. That's kind of what I get out of this. It's the same type of thing.
That raccoon said, you know what, I'm going to beat it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. It's the persistence of life, man. It's something.
I think I got it. I'll be all right.
Oh, my God. So the CZW founder, Brett Lauderdale... here, which sounds like someone who produces porn movies, right?
Yeah, it does. But it sounds like there's a trying to be punny, and it's not a pun at all. It's just
bad.
Yeah.
It could have been
from Florida.
Well, Lauderdale too. If you wanted to be like Fort Lauderdale, you could have been could have done that a lot better. So anyway, they said, "How do you think he was dealing with the pain and injury?" And Brett Lauderdale said, well, he definitely wasn't going to physical therapy or exploring yoga opportunities.
No.
What do you think he was doing, Jimmy?
Yeah. Drugs?
Drugs. Let's find out which drugs here, in their own words. Let's find out what Nick Gage was putting in his body, because it's pretty fucking crazy here. In their own words, quote, I was popping heavy prescription pills, popping perks and shit like that. I'm fucking Nick Gage, so I go into a doctor's office, give me 30 fucking Roxasets, crushable, snortable oxy, and then they would give them to you. It was great. And, like, I've never been a druggy guy ever, and then, like, when you don't have them, it's like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Withdrawal. That's what that is.
You're sick.
You're
in trouble.
Addicted to heroin is what you're stupid shit.
That's heroin addiction.
Hey, look at that. Look at that. Interesting. What's that? Oh, I don't know. Something that people have been trying to get over for 150 years or so.
What is that? That's Baltimore, bud.
Yeah, that is. No shit, man. Omar's going to rob you soon. Watch out. Man. So Lauderdale here, he says, quote, at some point he couldn't afford the pills and heroin was $10 a bag.
Yeah.
Which is how so many regular, average, non-street drug people get hooked on heroin, they start with pills. And
this is 2004 Florida. Crazy.
Yeah. Or this is 2024 Florida. Or Florida, let's just say. It's what it is.
This is how Tampa started.
This is what's wrong with it right here. When you walk around, you go, why is it all blonde women with bruises all over their legs? This is why.
There you go.
Yeah. Now you know. They've been in light tube matches and they need some fucking some drugs.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
So he said all the same effects and get more of it. They said when asked how much of his income went to drugs, Lauderdale replied, quote, all of it, definitely all of it.
Oh, yeah, every goddamn dime.
Every dime, yeah. So they continue to do all of this shit here. I guess the set on fire one was due to, I guess, a botched suplex.
Yeah.
It was supposed, but I don't know how it was botched. I guess the botching would probably be the who set the fire because he hit the thing fine. So I don't know.
Or too early, too late. I don't know.
Too early, possibly. Also, it didn't burn off enough of
Let some of it burn off.
Yeah. So he would lose one match by being driven through several panes of glass.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Several panes.
As well as a table by Necro Butcher, who is a very famous deathmatch guy. Here at the following show, then he would interfere in Necro's no rope barbed wire match.
Yeah.
And Gage and his brother would then start a big feud with them that carries on to Cage of Death 7.
Good Lord.
Yes. Boy, that's exciting. So
he's been in like 4 of these.
He's at least, I think, 5 maybe. September 2005, because except for the brief XPW fucking jaunt there, because for a minute he was paying people money. That Rob Black, I think his name was. He was paying people money, and then he wasn't anymore, which is like every wrestling promotion. That's when we covered UWF, same thing. For a minute, he was paying people money. Then
he's doing great.
Wasn't.
They stopped showing up.
So September 2005 here, he gets charged with receiving stolen property, which is a doctor's prescription blank. So he had a blank prescription.
A pad.
That's a stolen property. Yeah.
My God, that's a fine for a heroin addict. That's a hell of a fine.
That's golden.
Yeah.
That's the golden ticket. Fuck Charlie Buckets. This is it right here.
That's Moses' fucking tablets.
Absolutely. He will fly out of the ceiling in a little in a phone booth. It's fine. So he actually also tried to use it to obtain OxyContin, which is a problem.
Oh, boy, yeah.
So according to the records here, he pleaded guilty of receiving stolen property and received a $250 fine plus court costs, and the fraud charge was dismissed. So lucky.
Wow. Yeah, thank God for the plea.
Very lucky, yeah. Gage somehow became a color commentator for CZW DVDs.
Okay.
When they put out the DVDs, which makes no sense because he talks like he has shit in his mouth. So I don't understand.
Yeah, it's probably heroin.
It's also just he's been beat up a lot. His teeth are all fucked up because he's had them knocked out and stuff. Right. So he talks like he's like, let me tell you, not really a stuff, but like a kind of like he's got too fat of a tongue or something for his mouth.
Boy.
And it's a little bit like that. So, he... Jesus, the Tournament of Death in 2006 he won. That's very nice. By defeating Brain Damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Well, Brain Damage will get him in the end.
So he defeated Brain Damage, J.C. Bailey, and Drake Younger in the final round.
Okay.
So they said after this, Gage began doing some weird shit. I don't know if it's part of his character or what. He attacked a man named Lufisto.
Yeah.
Which sounds like he's definitely talking about fisting and not punching.
Watch out.
Oh, that's a woman, Lufisto.
Well, why not?
After you go with Lufista if you're a woman, wouldn't you? Usually.
I don't know.
Make it for the feminine, right? The A and the...
Jesus.
After she won the Iron Man title and Yeah, I guess he was trying to be a heel. He was insulting fans and insulting people on commentary, like we do. So then he was removed from the commentary position. So I don't know if that was a storyline or if he was just being a dick. Who knows?
Right.
Who the hell knows? We don't know. At Night of Infamy 5,
okay,
I'll read this here. This is from a wrestling thing here. Problems between Gage, Lobo, and Zandig. What is this, fucking Street Fighter 2? What's happening right now?
Zandig? Okay.
Continued, leading to a cage of death match between the three. Well, that's the only way to settle it, honestly. That's how we've always settled our differences with other podcasters. We get in the cage of death and we throw down, which called for the loser of the bout to hang up the boots and retire for a day.
Oh, they've got to quit?
It's a retirement match.
I'd like to do that, I think.
From a non-contracted company that you're not.
I'm going to pummel a podcaster into quitting.
Yeah. Well, if we could make somebody quit, there's a few on the list we could definitely fucking talk about. That I would say, let's get in there. Give me a fucking light tube. I'm going to stab that motherfucker in the face. Shut the fuck up now. There you go.
I'm bringing some Kingsford lighter fluid.
Yes. Oh, I'm coming like New Jack with the cart to the ring. Fucking bandana on, getting my groove on. We are fucking getting down.
This is a shopping cart full of things that I can't wait to beat you with. I'm going to take your pants off and cheese grate your balls.
Most comedy podcasts, I think we'd probably...
I'm not afraid of about 90% of them. Yeah,
probably 8%. In true crime...
yeah, oh, God, not a one.
All comers, motherfucker. What's up? What about you two fucking idiots over there? Sure, great. You bring it on. All y'all motherfuckers, yeah!
Take your shirt off.
Take your shirt off. Yeah, now we're talking. Get in the ring. Come on. Put these overalls on.
There's a lot of them, yeah.
I could do that. That's it. Let's throw down. What you want, motherfucker? We challenge any true crime podcasters to a cage of death match. How about that?
Settle a lot of beef.
Settle a lot of beef right now. We don't care fuck all about these people, but
not at all.
Most of their shows are terrible, and we'd like to beat them into unconsciousness.
Fight you for it.
Yeah, it'd be great. Thanks, Nick Gage. You really gave us a good idea. This is what we need: podcaster fights. So, I guess he gets hurt in one match here. The next month, he's I think his brother gives him a move that was kind of botched, and he gets a stinger in his neck.
Oh, no.
That'll keep him out for a little while. You can stitch stuff up, and that's fine. But if your neck's fucked up, you really can't fall or do anything good here. He made his return to CZW at the 9th annual Cage of Death event. Oh. So got to keep doing that here. And, he defeated some people and won and whatever. So he, this is crazy. Oh, the John Moxley match. Okay, John Moxley, who wrestled for...
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, big wrestler here. He is on the dark side of the ring talking about Nick.
Yeah.
And there's a match where he has against him, and you see Moxley, he looks totally different. He looks like a child, for Christ's sake. He's like skinny and everything else.
Yeah, he eventually turned into, he looks like actually Nicolas Cage.
It's weird.
In like a T-shirt and jeans. It's bizarre.
It's very strange.
Very strange.
So at this event here, they... one of these matches he has with them, he fucking pizza cuts his forehead all up, and his move he loves to do is he likes to then put the pizza cutter in your mouth and act like he's cutting your cheek or act like whatever. And Moxley was like, is my tongue cut out? Like he didn't know what the fuck was going on.
What's the point?
He was doing a lot of things that were not discussed ahead of time. Wrestling is much like sex. Like if you're going to do something, you need to get the okay before you stick that giant thing in that thing.
Right.
You got to say, this is cool, right? Like you got to get some consent before you start doing shit. And,
you're on board, yes?
Yeah. He's just taking a lamp and ramming it up people's asses and going, does that feel good? It's good, right?
You like it, don't you?
You like it, don't you? Yeah. So that I don't remember which event that was, but the artery in his right arm gets slashed, and you see that in the dark side of the ring here.
Nick,
yes.
Yeah.
He takes a bump into a light tube, which slices an artery in his arm, and blood is squirting everywhere. Yeah. And if you know anything about the anatomy, you got to stop an artery from bleeding or else you'll die. Just the
the
way
femoral one, you'll die.
Oh, you'll definitely die. Yeah. So while he's on the side, there's footage of it. They're trying to like stem the bleeding because he ran right out of the ring, and they were like, "That's odd for Nick Gage. He must really be hurt." He was saying, "Well, can you just tape it up, and I'll go back out there and act like I'm trying to go back out there, but that you guys like drag me back and put me on a stretcher, like do that, act like I'm trying
we don't have
for
any
my
time.
character." And they're like, "No, you need to go to a hospital right fucking now. He's like, "No, just take me out and just do like and they're like, "No, you can't do that." They couldn't get an ambulance in there, I'm sure, because it's in the middle of some muddy field in a fucking fairground somewhere. It's in the woods. So they have to airlift him out, which is more than what for an airlift to a hospital. That's more than any of these guys will make in 5 years. That cost. That's ridiculous.
It's $50,000 at least, right?
It's insane. That's so expensive. And during that, they said he died for like 6 minutes during the airlift.
6 minutes.
I don't know how you die for 6 minutes without having a lot of brain damage. I mean, a lot. That might explain his speech nowadays. I'm not sure, but
6 minutes?
That's the legend, that he was dead for 6 minutes. Now, I don't know if that's just his whole legend, but a bunch of people say it. This was in 2009 that happened, and it was pretty gross. I saw it when it happened. They had it to where like there's the ropes and then there's light tubes vertically in between the ropes. Right. So if you get thrown through the ropes, you're going through light tubes.
Yeah. But the problem is when you leave those vertically, now there's like, if one's broken and you fall on it, it's just cutting shit.
He went through it, and you see him fall down, and you see like immediately everybody around it's like, oh shit, that's what the fuck? And you see him immediately grab his arm and run out of there down the fucking back toward wherever the fuck I was gonna say the dressing room, back toward the tent they leaned up so people could.
Back behind the 2 oak trees.
so the workers could put their jean shorts on to go out there. So
Christ.
Yeah, you could see it was really fucking bad here. They said that he'll say 6 minutes. The hospital says he flatlined for about 15 seconds before being rehabilitated or resuscitated, which makes way more sense than 6 minutes.
I mean, I'm sure that the legend went from 6 seconds to 12 seconds to 30 seconds to a minute and a half, and then
6
so
minutes,
on and
man.
so forth. Yeah.
6 minutes. If your brain doesn't get oxygen for 6 minutes, you are not going to be able to do anything.
Oh, you're in
be
so
a
much
fucking
trouble.
Vegetable when it's not good. I'm sure there's miracles that have happened or whatever, but
people believe crazy fucking things after those happen because it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen. It's fucking wild. So, he got 32 staples to close that up.
Yeah.
He said the light tube, when I hit it, the top of it snapped, so the bottom of it was sticking there, and I just hit it wrong, and it got me. So he hit it up top, and it sliced him right under the arm by the armpit there.
Yeah.
Got him perfect. He said, when I lift my arm, just buckets of blood.
Yeah, Jesus.
He said, fuck, I'm fucked up. I know my body. Slice my arteries. I know my arteries are sliced.
I know where those are.
He said, tape that shit up. I'm not losing to this dude.
Oh, my God.
And he said, after I got on the helicopter, that's all I remember. Because he passed out from blood loss. And, and Moxley said, a guy like Nick Gage to just get up and walk off like that, it had to be serious. Absolutely. He's taken away in the helicopters. The doctors brought him back. He said, they told me you lost too much blood. And he claims he was legally dead, not 6, for 7 minutes, he claims.
Okay, now we got 7.
Legal death. The nurses say he flatlined while in the helicopters, but brought back after 15 seconds. That translates to legally dead 7 minutes.
Legally dead means there was a death certificate, you idiot.
Legally dead is not. Yeah. We're going with medically, first of all, when it comes to. You don't legally have psoriasis. You either medically have it or not.
They legally, they started selling off my shit for 7 minutes.
They just did. It was wild. It was a rush on my
fire
stuff.
sale for 7 minutes, and then
my
I came to, and they were
paid
like,
out to my girl.
give it all back.
Give it all back. They're like, nope. Yeah.
For 7 minutes, my girl had a check for $300,000.
Dude, they canceled it before she got to the bank, bro. It was fucked up. 7 minutes.
Stop payment after legally dead. What an idiot.
Oh, God. So he said this was what turned him into a big-time folk hero. This is where the, Nick fucking Gage chants come from and all this type of shit. Moxley said that, quote, he was legally dead for 7 minutes.
Mox, no.
Because once you say it, it gets repeated, and then it's true.
Fuck.
See what happens? See what happens? This is how
Mox doesn't have a clue what he's saying. There's no fucking way he knows what he's saying.
This is how dumb rumors and conspiracy theories start. Because one person says it, then another person says it, and you go, I don't know, I heard it from like 3 different people. It's got to be true.
He said it to me.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. So he said he died at a tournament of death.
Okay.
Which is what it was called. It's supposed to be a turn of phrase. You're not actually supposed to die. He did. It just cements and solidifies Nick Gage's spot as a folk hero.
Yeah, we know why, Mox.
Yeah.
We know what the deal.
We get it. I don't think Mox, while he's talking, he seems like a bright guy, but I don't know what's going on. I don't think the hamster running on the wheel is very bright.
It's taking a break. He's certainly saying words, but those don't go in that order.
Yeah. So Nick said, and this is, God damn it, I'm going to say this is why comedians and wrestlers are very close. Anybody who has ever done stand-up as I don't mean like you did it twice a year. I mean, you were going out 5-6 nights a week and doing fucking stand-up. How many times have you said this, and I quote, why the fuck am I doing this shit right now? Because it ain't the payday.
No, it's not.
How many times have you said that to yourself? Yeah. How many 100 times have you said that to you? What the fuck am I doing?
So much money this weekend.
And that's what he said. He said to himself, what the fuck am I doing here?
I am moving my car in between the early and late show because I don't want to pay for parking.
Oh, I don't want to, can't afford to pay.
I can't do it.
That's $12. That's expensive. I don't have $12, literally.
I'm going to sit here. Well, every minute that I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about how my fucking parking fees are going up.
Either that or you'd have to wait like an extra hour and a half after the show for the garage to close so you can get out without paying. So then you can leave at 2 a.m. Thanks.
Now
That's
I have
great.
to sit here and drink free sodas at the club and wait
because I don't have $12.
Because I didn't move my car like an asshole. I should have just moved.
And then you say, why the fuck am I doing this shit right now?
It's not for the payday.
It's not for the payday. So he was also, after his injury, he came back, and I guess he was feuding with a guy named Thumbtack Jack, which is, you kind of get what you're,
thumbtacks. Yeah.
You understand what you're getting there, I think, right away. So he keeps, I guess, feuding with Thumbtack Jack here as they faced off for one of Jack's ultra-violent, what is this? Oh, for Jack's ultra-violent underground championship. That's the belt they were fighting for.
Oh, God.
In a no-ropes barbed wire match at Cage of Death 11.
Okay.
Wow, Jesus Christ. I think Nick lost that one. In May 2012, Nick went to Japan and wrestled for Big Japan Pro Wrestling.
Really?
Yes, that's interesting here. I guess he was a member of a bunch of CZW guys went over there.
And they had to have heard about him by the fucking light bars.
That's exactly what it is. And also by this time, it's way different post like 2006 because then YouTube is a thing that's around.
Right.
Before that, it was tape trading. Guys would literally have to buy a tape and then wait for somebody to mail it from them. That's how wrestling fans did shit forever. Once YouTube came on, really you heard a guy almost died for 7 minutes. You want to see that match, so then everybody would fucking watch the match.
Or you got a bearded, bald black man that is pummeling everybody into submission into backyards.
It's true.
And then we want to see him too.
Indie wrestling got a real resurgence in the 2010s based on that. Based on the fact that people can watch it and see it and know what's going on in it. So there's some of them that actually, make decent money now. So it's not bad. There's indie wrestlers that make a living doing it now, which is pretty good. Good for them. Yeah, good for them. I fucking hats off to you. So anyway, he's in various promotions all around too. In addition to CZW and everything else, he was in, what is this? IWAMS.
Yikes.
IWA with multiple sclerosis, which is tough. That's tough. He beat a man named Freak Show in a taped fist Texas death match, which, Christ, they've been doing those since the 70s and 60s. Since the 60s, yeah. That just makes it sound tougher. It's a Texas death match. That's wrestling's always had the. In wrestling, the Texas death match was no holds barred, no rules, no time limit. To a finish. That was how they always said it.
Snakes in the ring.
And then we put alligators in the ring with you just to see how y'all deal with it.
Pour a cowboy boots full of rattlers all over you.
See how you like a boot of rattlers. That's what we call it. The rattler boot match. And if you win the boot as well.
You got to pry it from the rattlers.
Ain't no belt. It's just a boot.
You can take the rattlers and make a belt.
I was just going to say, if you want a second boot, you can catch them rattlers and make them. That's how this whole thing works. Round them on up and make one for yourself, you lazy son of a bitch. He also competed in 2 consecutive Carnage Cups.
What is that?
The Carnage Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chainsaw or something. Good Lord.
He defeated Devin Moore in a fans bring the weapons match in the first round. Yeah.
That's fucking... Why would they do that?
That's what's crazy. Now, in ECW, they used to do that all the time, though, too.
Fans bring the weapons?
They would just bring... Dude, you would see...
Dude, I'm sick. You're sick. What would you bring?
That's what I mean.
That's not okay.
That's not okay. It's really... In ECW, you just see a bunch of people in South Philly waiting on a line to get into a place just with frying pans and like Nintendos in there. Literally.
Somebody dragging a jackhammer.
Yeah. I saw New Jack bash Sandman with a Nintendo Entertainment System, original NES, just crashed it over his head like 5 times till it exploded. Fucking amazing.
Unbelievable.
Cheese graters and shit like that. So all of that stuff. So they ask... Dark Side of the Ring asked Nick, so for you personally, why deathmatch wrestling? Which is a great question, I would say.
Terrific question, yeah.
Nick says, probably a little crazy in the head. My pain tolerance is high. I also want to show other wrestlers that this is that this style of wrestling's all right, man, and it can be done, and there's a fan base, and it's awesome. Oh boy. That's interesting. I guess he had some problems with his brother. The shoulder injury he had that Nick had. Nick said, quote, let's put it this way. I went out there and I wasn't on top of my game. I just didn't remember how to do stuff, okay? He was high is probably what he's getting at. I guess my brother was a little upset in the ring, so he said, wake the fuck up, then literally slapped me like a bitch. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Lauderdale there, CZW starter, founder, said the match started, and a few minutes later, Chris just grabbed him and put him in his finisher. And Nick said, pretty much broke my shoulder. I was very, very upset about that.
Right.
And Lauderdale said, that was weird. Aren't you going to have a match before you start working toward the finishing sequence? So he said Nick was so out of it, his brother slapped him a bunch to wake him up, and Chris knew his brother was in no condition for the match. That's why they did that. They went home quick and just got it over with. So then it's when his mom dies of cancer as well around this time. So it's tough. That's real, and that is brutal, and that could send anyone down a spiral, especially if they're very close.
That particular way, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. So then he got really deep into drugs and all that. He was on the verge of homelessness for a while here.
Sure.
Because, you don't have a big nest egg from getting hit in the head with light tubes.
Yeah.
His dad passed away. His mom was dead. He wasn't speaking to his brother.
Oh, my God.
So none of his family were around. He was living with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's mom. Not living with them. Him and his girlfriend were living with her mom. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Then she kicked them out of the house, though.
Really?
Because, he's a fucking drug addict. You don't want this guy at your fucking... He's a lunatic drug addict. So his girlfriend, Sandra, said neither of them cared about working or making money. And, they just were floating.
Just the way it went. Yeah.
Just being, just floating in the ether like fucking dust. So Brett Lauderdale told a story about Nick and Sandra squatting in his house when they thought he was out of town. They went over to squat.
He woke up to make coffee and they're sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. No, Brett got home from a trip early, I guess, earlier than they thought anyway, and found his door not on the hinges.
He took it off the hinges to get in?
Hinges. First of all, those hinges are on the wrong side, Chief.
Yeah, that's on the inside. You should put those on the inside.
That's whoever built your house fucked that all up. That is not.
They left those available?
Yeah. It's kind of on you at that point if your hinges are available to be fucking popped, because you can just do that then. So that's easy.
Yeah, somebody can pull the pins. You've bought a shit house.
Yeah, your house is very stupid. So Brett goes on to say, quote, saw two people sleeping on the floor. I was like, oh my God, it's Nick and his girlfriend. I was pissed. Yeah. Really? He threw them out. That was it. He threw them out, told them to get the fuck out. And Nick said, fuck him, man. Yeah. You know, because how dare you not be okay with me breaking into your house?
You left the hinges on the outside. It's on you.
Yeah, it's on you. He said, fuck him, man. Kicked me out of his house when it was 10 degrees and needed money. I needed money and I'm freezing. Let me get mine. Well, you're a junkie who broke into his house.
Yeah, there's not.
That's a different thing now.
You're not entitled to my home.
No. If you're a friend that called him and said, listen, Brett, I know whatever, but I'm really down on my luck. I'm really starving. I need some help. Would you help me? And then the guy said, fuck you, man. That would have been shitty. And you go, okay, yeah. But also, he's if you've dealt with junkies in your life, this never stops then.
No.
That's the thing. It's you fed a cat now, and it's fucking never going away.
This is going to be bad for a while.
That's not helping. Enabling a junkie isn't really helping them. But when someone's freezing and starving, though, that's a different story. You got to, that's different. So December 30th, 2010 in New Jersey. Okay. Police in Camden County are looking for a bank robber. Who they believe is Nick Gage.
Is that right? He's robbing banks?
Being sought here in 2010. This article says 30-year-old Nicholas Wilson, who performs under the nickname Nick Gage, is being sought for the December 22nd robbery of a PNC bank branch.
A real bank, yeah.
He went into a fucking a national multinational conglomerate. Yeah. He didn't go to Fuckwits Community Credit Union. This is
savings and loan somewhere. You went to a fucking PNC.
Wow, 862 Haddon Avenue in Collingswood, New Jersey. About 1:40 p.m., they say he entered the bank and gave the teller a note which demanded she give him money or he would shoot her.
Okay.
Which, by the way, in a bank robbery, you don't even have to threaten them.
Right. You just say, give me the money.
That saves you other charges, too.
Yeah, right.
People
don't
in
say
on
don't
purpose,
move. Yeah, don't say.
On purpose with no gun.
Yeah.
And they just say, give me money. And that's all they say. That saves you a lot of charges.
Give me money. You know the deal. That's what they do. Because otherwise, if you say don't move, you're charged with kidnapping.
False imprisonment.
Go over here. Yeah.
All of it. You're threatening someone.
So bad.
It's this, whatever. So the teller gave him $3,000 in cash.
Jesus.
And then he starts his great escape, which is, how do you think he tried to get away, Jimmy?
James, he has gone through so much glass, I will jump through a window.
No, he just took off on foot. There's no getaway car.
What?
He doesn't even have a bicycle. He just he just ran away.
Walked over to the corner and pressed the button for the walk sign.
That's it. Looking.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Shit, this is a long light.
God damn it. Fuck it, I'll jaywalk. I'm already a bank robber. What's the difference? So he's described as he's not been apprehended, described as a white male, 6 feet tall, heavy set with a beard. So the prosecutor's office said he's been charged, even though he hasn't been caught yet, with second-degree robbery, and they've already set bail at $150,000, even though he's not.
We know it's him, so maybe we'll set bail.
Oh, you'll see why you know it's him, because there's amazing security camera footage of his fucking it's so clear. I'm looking at you from 3 feet away. I couldn't. It's that clear. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're asking anybody with information on his whereabouts and everything. Please call us. They said Combat Zone Wrestling has no direct knowledge of any alleged wrongdoings by Nick Gage.
Oh, that's easy. Combat Zone.
Yeah, Combat Zone. Then he says, we firmly discourage any fans from emulating any of the actions actions alleged. We hope that if these accusations are true, that Nick will turn himself over to authorities.
Yeah.
Don't rob banks, then sue us for putting him on TV, please, or putting him in our videos.
Right.
So December 31st, 2010, here we go. New Year's Eve, they are talking about his bank robbery here. And they said he's charged with using a threatening note to rob a bank here, like we said.
Oh, boy.
The authorities announced he'd been charged with the robbery, even though they hadn't found him. They say they're now asking for the public's help in locating him. How do you miss this guy?
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty known. His face is easy to identify. So they said a man who identified himself as league president and fellow wrestler said Wilson last competed December 10th. They're talking about CZW. Yeah. The man reached through a league telephone number. League, is that what we're calling it now? League telephone number. Yeah. He's declined to give his name, but he said it's kind of shocking, to be honest, to a lot of us. It is what it is. Everybody has their own issues.
Okay.
Yeah. So they talk about that, anyone with information. Finally, later that day, New Year's Eve 2010, he surrenders to authorities now.
Oh, boy.
Yep, he surrenders, $150,000 cash. This is all for $3,000. And he said, quote, "She gave me all the money. I ran all the way to my boy's house, man."
You can't rob banks, though.
That's the problem. That's not just because they gave it to me. I asked for it and they gave it to me.
It would have been more money. Yeah.
So he runs to his boy's house, which is Brett Lauderdale, the guy who he says, "Fuck that guy, man. I hate that guy."
He runs to him in trouble.
Brett says, "My front door opens." I'm hopefully on hinges.
Why is your place so not secured?
So easily accessible with this front door. You really barricade this shit up. Pretend there's a hurricane coming, Brett. Fucking get a big plank across it or something.
The dude in The Big Lebowski had a more secure home.
He did, absolutely. Abe Lincoln's childhood lean-to was more secure than this, and that only had one wall. So Brett says, "My front door opens. He just walked into my kitchen and dropped a bunch of money on the counter." I said, "What's that?" He said, "I just robbed a drug dealer." Then I looked at the money, and we're talking about brand new, crisp $20 bills. Yeah, not a drug dealer, apparently, obviously. And I said, "Did you just rob a bank?" Okay. Yeah. Another guy, John Mosley here, said, or is that supposed to be Moxley?
Is it Moxley?
Sure. I'm not sure. It might be a different guy. He said, "I'm at home and I get this call to check my email. I get on the computer and I get this email and it's a picture of him in a bank lobby and it's Nick Gage, clear as day."
Yeah.
And you can see here he is walking out of the bank.
Oh, John.
It could be, you could crop it and make a driver's license photo out of it. It's fucking ridiculous.
The camera is very strategically placed. Nice work to whoever installed those.
It's like in the...
You got to walk right into it.
It's like in the door frame, it looks like, the camera. Like in the door exit door frame. So
it's awesome.
That's what he did. Nick said, "I don't even think I realized the camera was there." Okay.
I'm sure you didn't.
In 2010, you didn't think a multinational corporate bank had cameras in their goddamn
just because you didn't
branches,
see it,
really.
You think it doesn't exist?
I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah.
You can assume every inch of that bank is covered by a camera.
I assure you, cameras caught your entire walk to wherever you were going, too.
Yeah. Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah,
one after another.
Somebody's house caught you, too.
He said, "I was just looking up for some reason, man, but I looked right at that bitch." Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Right at the bitch.
Right at the bitch. That's just a spur-of-the-moment thing, as you can see. No mask on. And then later he said, "My only objective is spend this fucking money. I'm thinking, you're going to prison, at least ball out for a week."
$3,000? Dude, you can't ball out on $3,000.
For a week, I guess, and with heroin you can.
Yeah,
that's his version of balling out. I think that was doing drugs for a week.
Drugs, but that's $3,000 of.
You're thinking like steak and lobster and Cristal dinners he's going out for. I don't think that's a balling out. Balling out is squatting somewhere with your girlfriend doing a bunch of heroin, I believe.
Yeah, balling out to me is trying Opus 1 today.
Yeah, really balling out, man. We're going to that one place. I want to try lobster today, whatever the fuck.
I'm going to get some Screaming Eagle tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud. a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
This fucking idiot. So he's a dum-dum, obviously.
Yeah.
So now he's in jail, and he's waiting to fucking figure out his fate.
Right.
And he's got no family that's going to help him. He's got a girlfriend that'll do everything she can, but she's in the same boat as him. She doesn't have any money.
Too. Right.
She has nothing going on. She's not in legal trouble, but she's got other problems. Right. Brett Lauderdale isn't going to help him.
He's had enough of your shit.
Who can possibly help him?
Oh, boy.
We get the answer when the cell door opens. And the only man in the world who could possibly help him stands before him. It's Vince McMahon.
Oh, boy.
Former everything of WWE and WWF and all that kind of thing. And he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Oh, God. You're crazy, and I like that. I'm going to be honest. I like that. You like blood, and I'm a blood and guts kind of guy. You know what I mean? I like that. Let me ask you this, though, because, first of all, let's take your shirt off for a minute. I want to see some scars. Yeah, there we go. That's right. You know what, though?
Tell me some stories.
I got something for you. Let's try these overalls on. What do you say? Ah, there we go. Oh, now we're talking. Yes. Well, you, my friend, I want to ask you this. You love blood. You love grime, don't you? Gore. How do you feel about poop? That's what I want to ask you. How do you feel about poop? Because me and you should poop on a person together. What do you think? Oh, yeah. Come on. We'll hit him with a light tube, and then you can poop all over him. It's going to be amazing.
Space, Vince.
The ultimate poop warrior. That's what we're going to call you. Okay. I'm too horny. I got to go. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus, I got to get out of this room right now. And then poof, in a cloud of 1099s and lawsuits, he's disappeared. And Nick's like, come back, man. I'll poop on people.
I'll do it.
I'll do it for $50, sure.
I didn't know you'd go that low. I'm in.
So the fucking great thing about this is after this, they're talking about how they identified him because he's a wrestler. So people, when they put his picture out, multiple people said, oh, that's that wrestler, Nick Gage. And
hey, there he is.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous, obviously, here. So he's doing this, and CZW issues multiple statements saying, please, don't fucking emulate this. We don't need to be sued. Jesus Christ here. Brett says this. Here's Brett Lauderdale again. While he's on the lam, he says, this was a tough situation for me. I wasn't going to rat him out. I told him when he's ready to turn himself in, let me know. I'll help you. He said, I don't know with what. I spoke to him every day.
The cops know.
I spoke to him every day. Are you ready? No. All right, talk to you tomorrow.
See you around.
Be ready to yeah. That went on every day for 8 or 9 days. Then he called me and said, I'm done. I'm ready. I went to Atlantic City and picked him up. We went to Burger King. He got a Whopper. Okay.
That's turning in?
And then Nick said, I drank a 40, smoked a couple blunts, and walked in and turned myself in.
Wow.
That was that. So he...
Belly full of 40, Burger King, and a couple of blunts.
He did an interview from jail. Quickly, of course, because he's got might as well get something out of this, I guess, get some mileage out of it. It's not like he's saying I'm a Boy Scout and a good guy. He's saying he's a psychopath. This can only help. So he said he's been battling an addiction to painkillers for at least 10 years. He said he was high on Oxy when he went into the bank. And he said that also he was cold and desperate after being thrown out of his house there. He said, to be honest with you, it was spur of the moment. I didn't wake up that morning and say, I'm going to take this bank down today. I had no money, nowhere to go. So he didn't even have the note beforehand. He wrote the note on a deposit slip in the bank and handed it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was known for wearing a bandana in the ring, which is stupid because then he had one on there. So he looked just like himself. I mean, it couldn't have looked more like himself if he tried.
Yeah, he's the ultimate warrior tied tassels to his biceps. Yeah. The bank.
This guy might as well have been wearing his merch. Like he was that obvious. Fucking idiot. So he said about this, quote, I was actually really nice to the teller. I even said thank you when she gave me the money, and it's going to be okay. He told her that.
Yeah.
Wow. He said, I walked in, robbed a bank, and walked out not knowing how to get out of there, meaning the area he was in. Right. Eventually, he made his way to his friend's house. Then he went to Atlantic City with his girlfriend to play roulette.
Oh, he's going to double this money.
We got to put it all on black now.
What is this fucking Tower? What was that? There's a movie that did that.
The whole
plot of it. Is it Tower Records? No. Is it Tower?
I can't fucking. No, it was. I just watched Empire Records. Empire Records.
There it is.
And he lost it all. He lost it all.
That's the whole plot of the movie. So stupid.
Apparently, he told his girlfriend she had no idea he robbed the bank until she saw his photo on the news and was like, asshole, that's what you're wearing today. Yeah, babe, what the fuck? He was winning at the tables, too. He was doing well.
Yeah.
So tips started pouring in immediately. Fans everywhere recognized him because he's on the internet and shit. So he said, this is a great line from Nick. I'll give him this, quote, I guess I didn't realize how popular I was until the photos came out.
Oh.
How many people knew who I was?
This is a bittersweet.
That's fucking hilarious.
At least they know me.
Oh, God. He then says this. This is the biggest lie ever. He ran out of money. Let's put it that. Like he had a bunch of money. He didn't have any money left. He said,
he had $3,000.
He said, I realized what I did was wrong and wanted to start the new year on the right foot. No, you were out of options. You had nowhere to go and no more money left. And everybody said, you're wanted for bank robbery. He said the cops are too good at their jobs to run forever. So he goes there, and they said the CZW owner at the time, DJ Hyde, said that this surprised him, though. He said this surprised. Said Nicky's character is this crazy, badass kind of guy, but Nick himself is a great guy, so it's really sad. You don't want to end up like this. So, yeah. Nick says, I'm just a tough guy and I like to prove it to people. It's called ultraviolet wrestling for a reason. Oh, yeah. He said, though, he spent all his money on painkillers. He said, instead of putting money aside, I'm busy buying stupid pills and eating them up.
Okay.
And he said it had nothing to do with the pain. He said, I just like taking them. So at first it was for pain. Oh, this hurts a little. But after a while, if you're taking 15 of them, it's not for the pain. It's because you like taking them.
Well, and also, when I don't take them, I get real sick.
That's the other thing. I start puking and shit, and I don't like it.
So that's what he doesn't
feel awful. Yeah. He said, quote, that he wanted to apologize to everyone in Collingswood, New Jersey.
No.
He said, it's such a nice town, and they didn't need me to do that in their neighborhood, especially around Christmas time.
Okay.
Well, thank you, fucking.
Don't worry.
It's a wonderful life. That's terrific, but
yeah, trapped in paradise.
Yeah, it's the PNC, like we said. They didn't rob some mom and pop hardware store or something,
right?
So this is only really hasn't had a lot of other problems with the law, and the other problem was a drug problem also when he stole the prescription pad.
Yeah.
That's another issue here. He says he's been sober for 10 days since arriving in jail.
Oh.
He's lucky he didn't die. That's good. When asked for a message to relay to his fans, he said, tell my fans the king will be back.
Oh.
When I go into the ring, I'm Nick Gage. But when I walked into that bank, I was Nick Wilson. No, I was drugged Nick Wilson. It's like, that's not the same guy as my character. Now he's saying, I'm a bad guy. My character's a good guy. Now he's complete. Talk about getting it twisted.
Yeah.
So on March 15th, 2011, he pleads guilty. Because, I mean, they've got him dead to rights. He can't. It's his fucking.
May as well. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's him. And then he did an articles fucking admitting it. So, yeah. He pleads guilty to second-degree robbery.
Okay.
He's going to be sentenced here. And he comes in and he's in court. And you're trying to look like I'm a great upstanding citizen. And to some judge who has no idea what hardcore wrestling is, that's going to look
clue. Yeah.
not great. They asked him if he had anything to say before being sentenced, and he said no. That's not smart.
No.
With a deal, though, you usually know your parameters here, so of where you're going to be. The judge gave him credit for 119 days served, and he's ordered to pay $3,090 in restitution to the bank. Okay. Give that shit back. Also ordered him to pay $150 to the female teller to whom he handed his robbery note. The amount added up to a week's pay for the teller, who left work for a week due to the stress of the robbery.
She was only getting $150 a week. Oh, okay.
So this probably works 2 days a week or something. So
okay, yeah.
He said he was high on oxy, homeless, and penniless when he walked into the bank. That's what his attorney said anyway, and that he was a drug addict, and that's the problem. It's not that he's a bad guy and all that kind of thing. They said, he did an interview. He said he regretted the robbery, obviously, and the county prosecutor said that he could get up from his fall by entering a drug treatment center too. He could help himself out once he gets outside, and he said he can take the opportunity to better himself. Let's do that. He ends up being sentenced, though. You, sir, may fuck off 5 years in prison.
Oh, boy.
You can't rob banks. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I can't believe
if it was everybody be doing it.
It would happen pretty frequently, yeah. I can't believe he thought that wasn't a big deal. Even on the spot idea, like Babyface Nelson ran across the country trying to, because he knew he was in a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. This guy just hung out in AC for a few days and was like, I don't know, fuck it. Let's get some Burger King.
I just knew it was a bad thing. Yeah, it was a bad thing.
Yeah, really bad.
A lot of people have died over those. That's why it's bad.
Oh,
there you go.
So
now you know.
Ruining lives all over the country.
Yeah.
Destroying it all over the world. So he started eating healthier in jail, which is, if you go to jail and you're eating healthier than you were on the outside, you were living a crazy fucking life.
That's nuts, man.
When normal people go to jail, they say how badly their health suffers because the quality of food is so poor. He's like,
getting
never
strong.
been better in my life. Yeah. I usually eat Hardee's from the dumpster. This is much better than old Hardee's.
Yeah.
And working out twice a day as well. So now he's got nothing to do and no drugs to do, or
2
less,
times
I guess.
a day.
Now he's working out a ton, and he was upset though his brother Chris never came to visit him.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Yep. Brett Lauderdale said Chris looked down on him. He thought it was shameful. You're a fucking criminal, you know? My brother's a criminal. He got himself into this mess and he can get himself out of it. That was Chris's attitude from there. So he gets out. He's out by 2014. By late 2014, he is back at CZW doing the Tournament of Death 13.
The bank robber.
The bank robber, which is only going to give him way more in this, especially among this group.
Oh, God, these people are going to love him.
Fuck yeah. He was released on parole on March 31st, 2015. His first appearance in the ring was April 10th, 2015.
Yeah.
And, he's going there. I'm not going to get into these indie matches he was in because I don't give a shit. September 4th, 2015. He's been out for, 6 months?
Right, a little bit.
Well, parole violation. There
What'd
you go.
he do?
Absolutely. He is taken into custody for parole violation. He was doing well, too. I mean, he's ripping it up on the indie circuit because he's this, criminal fucking guy.
Folk hero.
Yeah. But it turns out he was pulled in for a drug test, and as he put it, he tried to, quote, falsify urine. He was found.
In it? What did he do?
He was found with a jar of someone else's piss.
Yeah.
And a, quote, device, a fake dick.
He had a Whisinator?
He had a Whisinator and a fucking jar of someone else's piss as he got busted with at the parole office, which is an automatic automatic violation. So he's been doing drugs is what that means.
I hope they knew that it was fake because it was black or something.
It was really veiny, the size of his forearm, and they were like, bro, really?
Come on, man.
So Brett Lauderdale said he definitely fell into some bad habits again. I was angry. You're a stupid motherfucker.
No shit.
You're on parole. Jesus. And Nick says you can't run away from those problems. They just follow you. So he goes back to prison for another year, a little over a year. So he gets back out in November 2016. And he's wrestling around there and doing all this type of shit. Game Changer Wrestling, he wrestles and all this. GCW, that's a big one.
Jesus.
Here's his most famous thing besides his bank robbery and dying for 7 minutes. Yeah. He had a death match with David Arquette.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, David Arquette, he was in WCW in the late 90s as kind of a mascot, but then he got in the ring and they had Vince Russo had the brilliant idea of let's make him be the champ.
Yeah.
And that was a big to try to get publicity.
They convinced him.
The wrestlers generally like David Arquette because they said, A, he had a shitload of respect for what they were doing. He didn't come in and was like, I'm a movie star. Step aside. He was like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Teach me. I don't know anything. I'm very humble. And he gave every dime he made with WCW to Owen Hart's family.
Is that right?
Yes, because it was after Owen Hart died. So he gave all the money to Owen Hart's family. So that really ingratiated himself with the wrestling community. Yeah. And he tried hard.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He's still doing it, James.
Oh, I know. Back then, he was a little guy, a little 140-pound guy, and he was letting them fucking toss him all over the place. He had balls. You got to give the guy a shit wrestler back in the day because he didn't know what he was doing. He wasn't a worker.
Yeah, he's still doing it. He's got a ring at his house. People go to his house and wrestle with him, and evidently he's still a sweetheart of him. But and the other point is, like, you're a fucking Arquette. You don't need to do this. You can't give away the money because it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, he was in Scream then.
Right.
It was like he was at a lot of money.
Right.
So November 16th, 2018 is the David Arquette match. And it is in L.A. And they talk about how they went out to dinner the night before. David took Nick out to dinner because it's not, David Arquette doesn't do death matches. So this is his arena. So he's taking this guy out to dinner, try to ingratiate himself with him, show him respect and talk to him and, work out the match and stuff like that. So David said that they met the night before, and he said, quote, I knew it was real glass. I knew it was dangerous. I'm crazier than the next person, so I was into it.
Oh, God.
He thought it was going to be cool. He said, but I clearly said at that steak dinner, don't cut me. I'm an actor, so don't cut my face. You can't fuck around with my face. Right. This is my living here, so don't do that. He said, I know I'll bleed, but don't cut me. Like, I get on top of my head, shit'll happen.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my face, right? So Gage, though, and he talked about it in the Dark Side of the Ring. He kept saying he was like, this guy wants me to go soft on him, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to fucking... Look, you have to agree to what you're going to do before you go into this. This is a dance, not a fucking actual physical confrontation. Right. Otherwise, you're just an asshole who goes into business for yourself. It's bullshit. So Gage said he had no intention of going easy on him. He brought the pizza cutter out during their match. And Brett Lauderdale said Arquette made it clear that not only was he down to wrestle Nick, he wanted to have a death match. Nick said, I told him I'm not going to go soft on you when we talked about it. He's a fucking actor. I'm going to whoop his ass. And he says, he started laying in a little because they were showing the match and David was starting to, they were doing moves. Laying it in a little. So it looked a little stiff with his shit. Sure. So he said David was doing this. He said he started laying in a little. I'm going to have to take it to the next level.
Okay.
David Arquette says, I feel the pizza cutter cut my forehead wide open.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's starting to bug out a little bit. I felt the pizza cutter cut my forehead wide open. Then he puts it in my mouth, too. At this point, I'm not having the trust you need in a wrestling match. He's doing shit that he did not agree to. You can't do that. Nick said, I get a piece of light tube and smash it over his head. And he's starting to bug out a little bit. I stabbed him in his neck.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, oh, shit, did I just kill David Arquette? I looked at his neck, and I don't see nothing squirting or anything. He's fine. He just had a little cut and a leak. He's all right.
He's bleeding, though.
He's bleeding from the neck. He got stabbed in the neck, and Arquette's whatever they're doing, he's holding his neck because he doesn't know if he's got a fucking artery, and he's trying to keep pressure on it.
Yeah.
So this guy said, you're fine. Arquette got pissed, and he was like, what the fuck? And you could see in the ring what they were doing, and they think he threw a chair at Nick or something like that. Something happened. Nick basically came over and knocked him down and pinned him and said, to him, stay down or I'm going to hurt you. Just let me fucking pin you and get this over with. So Gage said this is what Nick said. He did good until he started being a fucking crybaby. He got in Luke Perry's car and got out of there. I still haven't talked to him since.
Luke Perry's car.
Luke Perry was there hanging out, and they showed Arquette the next day. TMZ caught up to him the next day, and he had like a big fucking chunk taken out of his forehead,
Jesus.
and he looked like dog shit. So there's that. So, I mean, this guy... He's
just reckless.
A path of just destruction. I can't imagine how many like nobody new guy wrestlers he's fucking hurt and did horrible things to and shit like that and whatever. I mean, I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy. I really do. But not nearly as bad as I feel for Nick Gage, student at Norwalk Community College, part-time youth minister.
Oh, God.
And he works for the Greenwich Sentinel as well. There's that guy. Nick Gage, CFA, capital management guy, went to Vanderbilt University from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Senior principal at Galliard Capital Management.
My God.
He takes people's money and does things with it. Nick Gage.
Don't worry. I won't use it in AC or for heroin.
Not in either of those. Or to a PNC Bank. Definitely not there. Nick Gage, student at Ohio State University in his freshman year. And then finally, this is great, January 14th, 2010, an article from the Patriot Ledger, career criminal Frank McCormick, a.k.a. Nicholas Gage, arrested on North Shore. He is a different guy who goes by the nickname, that's his like alias, I don't know. He's wanted for robberies up and down the South Shore, has been arrested. He's 50. I think this is in England, possibly. And he has...
chose that name, huh?
He's a 50-year-old carpenter with 47 convictions on his record from various thefts since 1978.
He's a bad man.
Holy shit. The police this month issued 43 arrest warrants against him, including charging him with being a common and notorious thief, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. Yeah, that sounds like England. A common and notorious thief. They said on Monday, added to the list, issuing 19 charges against McCormick for breaking into 5 vehicles between September and November. Here are his charges: 5 counts of breaking and entering at night. Oh, at night. A felony. 3 counts of larceny of property valued at $250. 5 counts of larceny of property valued at less than $250. 3 counts of fraudulent use of a credit card. 3 counts of identity fraud. They've been looking for him since he failed to show up for December 29th probation surrender.
Oh, my God.
So this really paralleled our Nick Gage perfectly at the time if you were looking them both up.
We should absolutely make that an aggravator if the crime is done at night.
At night is worse.
Yeah, because you're clearly trying to get away with it.
Well, especially breaking into a house.
Yeah.
That could mean you're up, you're trying to fucking murder people at that point.
You're up to no good for sure.
Yeah, these are house burglaries. These are all sorts
Absolutely.
of shit.
Time of day should be an aggravator. I think so.
That would really be good. Yeah, this person was sleeping.
Shit. Yeah,
this person was sleeping. Leave them the fuck alone while they sleep. April 5th, 2019, Nick Gage defeated Shinjiro Otani. Jesus, that's very close to... Okay. At Joey Janela's Spring Break 3 Part 1. That's
Spring
way
Break.
too.
Sounds
3
like porno.
Part 1.
Yeah.
That's very porno. Fuck yeah, that's super porn. So anyway, they're all he's doing all this type of shit here, doing these different indies. Then on January 24th, 2020, his brother, Chris, is dead. He is dead by jumping off the Walt Whitman Bridge in Philadelphia.
Why?
Well, he was being chased by police at the time. That's why.
Oh, no.
Yes. He was 41 years old. Nick said this, and it hasn't been verified by anybody else, that he left a note that just said sorry. Okay. But I'm not sure about that. They said he was suffering from drug addiction and paranoia. He was acting really weird. I don't know. Maybe he got hit in the head a few times, possibly. You know what I mean? So this is what Brett Lauderdale said. My understanding is he stole a car, and then the cops threw the lights on, and before they could get to him, he just ran and jumped off the bridge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's where he just ran away from them and just kept...
Do you think he thought he was getting away that way?
I mean, if he's that delusional, yeah. Fuck.
Probably underestimated how tall that bridge was.
Maybe. He thought he could swim it. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's done death matches. This is nothing.
Yeah. It's just a bridge.
Look at Sandra said it's upsetting because he always had his life together. He had the wife, he had the car, he had the kid, he had the job. a job and a car and a kid is having your life together, which it is. But
yeah,
I mean, it's not like, oh, he owned investment properties and he was getting by.
2 kids. I'm killing it.
Yeah, you're fucking hero. Amazing. Me and you are
superhero.
Me and you are fucking titans of industry. So Nick said the bridge he jumped off is right behind my house. So as soon as I come out of my house, I see the bridge every day that my brother jumped off of.
Oh, shit.
Well, that's not good.
You got to move.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Who the fuck would want to do that? That'll make you do drugs and rob banks and shit. That's dumb.
My God.
Shit, man. That's tough. A lot of this.
You got to leave town.
Yeah, man. It's hard. So in an interview on May 17th, 2021, Nick now says that he's a Christian and he prays all the time.
Oh, fantastic.
Perfect. As if this guy hasn't done everything else wrong. Now he's going to start breaking crime and sports rules. That's it. This isn't going well here. So that's what he does. And in 2021, July 29th, 2021, on an episode of AEW Dynamite, which is AEW is big, he made an appearance when I guess he would come out, and I guess he's going to wrestle Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And so I guess he wrestled under the persona of the Painmaker, which is stupid. Yeah. But whatever. So that's what he gets. So people see him on TV.
Okay.
August 9th, 2022, by the way, Nick says he thinks that the recent Barbed Wire Everywhere match on AEW sucked. Didn't like it.
It wasn't even good.
He said he loves deathmatch wrestling, and he loves the idea of a wrestler getting to the point of asking themselves whether or not you're going to quit or keep fighting, and that was always what made him fall in love with the style. He said, it's a passion, and I love it. He said, I feel like I'm the king. I'm the god of this. So I want to back that up, so I will face anyone, anybody, anywhere, anytime. I love that me versus another man and who can take the most pain. That's not what this is supposed to be.
That's not what it
at
is.
all.
No.
That is not what it is.
No.
Absolutely not.
He doesn't
it's
get
supposed to make those people think that while you're actually okay later.
You're
That's
not doing
the point.
it. Right. That's
well,
the idea.
you don't end up at the hospital at the end of the night.
What what an Arquette was trying to get you to do is what it is.
That's kind of what the point of it is here. So obviously, I don't think he's really getting it through his head there. Mm-hmm. But he says you get in a death match and you start rolling in that glass. And I'm talking about real glass. I'm not talking about that AEW fake glass. I'm not talking about that fake barbed wire they use. I'm talking about GCW real stuff where the barbed wire is real and the glass is real and it starts cutting you up.
Yeah.
He promised to put deathmatch wrestling back on the map.
Oh.
He said he wanted to make it an art form and feels that he's already done that.
Okay.
There's no art in I'll hit you with this. That's not a fucking art.
Yeah, if you do it, no, there's not.
No, there's no art to it whatsoever. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a way where that's art. Unless the blood splatters off of you onto a canvas in an attractive way.
Makes it if you can duplicate a Jackson Pollock.
One of Jackson's polyps, if you can duplicate that.
With a light bar into an Arquette's neck, then I'm in.
Yeah, fuck, man. He says that deathmatch wrestlers are wrestlers these days because they're allowed to be creative and technical. He also says that not only can deathmatch wrestlers thrive, but they can have just as good one-on-one matches as everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah. He thought that his match with Chris Jericho in July of 2021 was great, and he said he was a fan of Jericho. And then revealed that he would be part of the Jericho Cruise in 2023, doing meet and greets with fans.
Oh.
That's the fans you want around on a fucking boat. You'd be trapped on water with those fucking people. No, those wrestling fans, not wrestling fans. Those guys. June 4th, 2022, he talks about a possible retirement coming up.
Okay.
He said, I don't know how much I got left. I'm just being honest, but I know I'm not done yet. I'll fight till I'm dead. Jesus. MDK, which is the group he calls Murder, Death, Kill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Demolition Man reference? Is that what that is?
I think it is, yeah. Well, I don't know if he knows that or not, but that's what he calls the group. I don't know if he knows that. Is it Judge Dredd or Demolition Man?
Demolition Man. Simon Phoenix says it, yeah.
I 100% get those movies mixed up. Those scenes are interchangeable to me.
Yeah.
Like I can put a movie together with scenes from both of them. That makes sense, I think. It's just very
comic book and stupid.
Yeah, and it's the same type of shit. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And wasn't it Wesley Snipes in both of them too?
He's not in Judge Dredd.
He's not in Judge Dredd, no.
Post-apocalyptic bullshit. That's all it is.
That's okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on here. He grows. People know him even more after the Dark Side of the Ring. Now, everyday people know him, not just hardcore.
Yeah, now I can't even rob
people.
banks.
Now, totally fuck now. No, they'd be like, "Aren't you that guy from
the lady
Hulu?
behind
the Vice series I watched?"
The lady you hand the note to knows you now.
Yeah, no shit. She's like, "Oh, hi, Nick." That's fine. He says this, quote, "I already know in my mind I'm going to go out young. Do I have a death wish? No. But I feel like I'm going to die sooner than later. I believe that. I'm definitely cool with that. I'd rather die in a good way than a bad way." That's his quote.
Okay.
I don't know what that means exactly.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of Nick Gage? Well, you can find on eBay, for some reason, a Nick Gage signed baseball. I don't know why.
Ball? Did he fucking jam that up somebody's ass somewhere?
I don't know if it's got poop on the other side of it or blood fingerprints on it or what, but $28 for that, though. Nick Gage, MDK, it says on it there. Okay. You can also get the 2000, it's a wrestling card, his rookie card here, where he's giving the camera double fingers.
Fantastic.
That's very nice. That's $135 plus $5.15 shipping. And it has 10 watchers on it, too.
There's only one of them on the planet, then. It has to be, right?
I think it's just got to be rare. Yeah.
Is DNA on it?
There's Japanese writing on it. Maybe it's a Japanese
it's from Japan,
card. Yeah, it's one of those. So that, everybody, is Nick Gage.
Wow.
And episode 400, we had to find a real lunatic.
There he
is.
is.
He didn't have the most crimes, but he's a crazy son of a bitch.
He's going to die young, James.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this guy, to be honest with you, because, he had a drug problem, so a lot of that can be explained of having a drug problem. But at the same time, he doesn't really do a lot to try to change anything that's happening in his life.
I mean, you think? Can't be.
No, I don't think. I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I mean,
can't be.
To me, a guy who kept doing drugs and I don't know. He's not been on parole, so I don't know. Maybe not. Who the fuck can tell these days? But I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know what would have been the thing that
catalyst
pushed him to that. Yeah, what would have been?
Is that girl still around?
Yeah. She was on Dark Side of the Ring. They're still together.
I wonder if she's still around today.
Maybe that was like 2 years ago.
That was a few years ago. Yeah.
Who knows? It seems like they've been together since high school. You're gonna have to do a lot more to shake her than rob a bank publicly or set yourself on fire. So she seems pretty loyal.
She stuck around while he told her that he died legally.
Yeah.
She's sticking around a while.
She's like, all right, fine. That's fine. So I don't know, man. It's weird stuff. I don't know what I think. I'm not a fan of those kind of matches. I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no story being told. No. It's just a bunch of guys hurting each other, and I don't.
It's just a bunch of juggalos.
Yeah. Don't care for it myself. I know there are people that like it. They're probably not a huge crossover with our listenership. And if they are, stop beating your fucking wives.
Don't hit her again. Stop hitting that
her.
Woman that does coke with you.
Yeah. Stop hitting that woman who crushes up your pills for you. Stop. It's not nice. So,
stop hitting the woman that gets your Xanax.
For sure. So if you like this show and you've listened for 400 episodes or close to it, thank you so much. And leave a review if you haven't. That's the one thing you can do for us is leave us a review on whatever app you're listening on. That helps a lot. And if you've listened to 400 episodes, I think I think it's time you fucking gave us a break here. You've listened to hundreds of hours.
You've probably told all your friends, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Thank you for sharing. You can head over to shutupandgivememurder.com to get everything you could possibly want to see about us. Small Town Murder, your stupid opinions, the tour, the tickets, Patreon, all that stuff. Doesn't matter right now. We're just saying thank you for all that you've done for us, honestly. Everything. You guys are the best, and we've made it to 400 episodes and going to keep pushing on beyond that only because anybody cares.
Yeah.
I tried to quit on week 8.
Yeah.
Week 8, I said, this is ridiculous. What are we fucking doing? And luckily we didn't, and now here we are. So, I mean, it's thank you for making it a thing. Almost immediately after that, people started listening. It was so weird. Like the universe heard me. And we're like, okay, before he fucking jumps off the Walt Whitman Bridge,
let him have
let's give these fuckers a break here. Yeah. So thanks for all that you've done for us, definitely. And if you want to follow us on social media, it's all at shutupandgivememurder.com. You can find us, come hang out with us, tell your friends about this, and listen to the next, 400 episodes if we can pull that many out. Another thing, too, if you love the show and you want it to continue, check on shutupandgivememurder.com. There's a research email for Crime in Sports. Send us suggestions because there's a lot of people that even though I look for people I didn't know about until somebody like a guy like Lewis Billups. So if you didn't listen to that episode, it was around Christmas. Fucking incredible. A classic Crime in Sports episode with arrest after arrest and all this crazy shit. I had no idea about that till somebody posted it. And I was like, oh my God, looked him up and went, no shit, look at that. So honestly, we want the suggestions. We're really open to them. And we just did a guy last week that somebody suggested. Thank you for all that you do for us. And hopefully we'll see you for another 8 years, let's hope. It's been about 8 years. So thank you so much, everybody. Live from the Crime in Sports studios, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Crime in Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.